expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Raleigh Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222.
This party's getting crazy!
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs!
Okay! Now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Well, it's a warm afternoon out there. High temperatures in the mid-80s with increasing clouds as we get through the afternoon and evening. 67 and cloudy overnight tonight, and big changes come tomorrow. A cold front will bring us a good chance for showers and storms in the afternoon and evening, and it will be cooler with highs in the mid to upper 70s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 139 points to 46,555.
Smothers now runs up into a tackle, bounces off of it, sprints over the 40. Watch out, breaks free 30, pulls away 20, and he's gone. Looking for the double pass, taking a shot, has a man open. Chapel Hill meet the Tigers. Touchdown. Shepard, room on the right, 40-35, one man to beat. He's gone. 10-5 touchdown. Look at this. Dowdle still on his feet. What an afternoon for Rico Dowdle.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
That's right. It is The Drive here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox here in Charlotte with me. I'll tell you why in a second. Back at the studio, keeping us up and running, it's Max Gorin. And as a little insight into why we're in Charlotte live for today's show, let's jump into the Big 3 at 3.
Number one.
There we go. The reason why we're in Charlotte is for the ACC basketball tip-off, ACC Media Days for men's basketball. It's already that time of year, folks.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
I don't even say the term folks that often, but I'm so overwhelmed. It just came out. It is that time of year already. You're going to hear today from the Carolina Tar Heels. You'll hear from Hubert Davis. You'll hear from Seth Trimble. You'll hear from Henri Veesar, which I'm going to get better at pronouncing, and then he actually coaches me a little bit in our conversation, as well as Jeff Capel, head coach at Pitt, a couple of his players, Tomorrow, we will continue to do our show live from Charlotte. You'll hear from Duke and State and Wake, and we're doing our best to set the stage for what should be a really exciting ACC basketball season. And actually, one of the events that is kind of a staple of the ACC Media Days already took place. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips made his kind of state of the ACC address earlier today. I wouldn't say anything groundbreaking.
No.
Few things that are worth passing along. The injury reports, the availability reports, as they call them, that have been already put into place for football will be coming to basketball.
Yes.
2 reporting mandates. One is the night before games by 8 p.m. You have to give an availability report, and then the day of the game, no closer to the game than 2 hours, at least 2 hours before the game. Those will be given. And the same rules on field storming will apply to court storming. Which affects some teams more than others. I remember a couple years ago there was it was the Kyle Filipowski.
Oh, it's the Kyle Filipowski rule
at Wake. There were stats that came out of how often Duke has the court stormed on them when they lose on the road, and so Duke may be making the ACC a bunch of money when all those court stormings happen. Either way, the energy is high. It's really exciting to be here in Charlotte, and we'll continue to give you updates throughout the entire event. And Dennis, you know to look for this, but I like to put this out there earlier on. Anytime we're at ACC kickoff, anytime at ACC tip-off, we are constantly looking for the presence. We still need to name the award. Like the Presence Award.
Kids use Aura these days.
Aura, yeah.
Yeah,
Aura.
The All Aura team.
Swag vibe. I don't know what it is.
We should make the All Aura team.
The All Aura team.
Let's go.
Well, the way we've been doing it is at ACC kickoff and ACC tip-off, the media days for football and basketball. At the end, we just ask ourselves, who completely, almost involuntarily commanded the room?
Yeah.
When you walk into the room, the way I describe it is it's like the bride walking into the wedding, where everybody just stops their chatter and just turns their head and looks like, all right, now this is the person we're all looking at. It happens every once in a while. We've been pretty good as far as whoever wins the Presence Award ends up having a really good season. Before NC State's run to the Final Four, it was DJ Burns. We've had Armando Bacot as a selection on the basketball side.
PJ Hall from Clemson a couple years ago.
Hall, yep, was one of those winners as well. On the basketball side of things, 3 years ago now, it was Riley Leonard at Duke. 2 years ago, it was Cade Klubnik, who turned everything around and had a great season. This year, it was Darian Mensah, also at Duke, having a very good year. So there's something to be said for your aura, to use the kid's word.
Or a couple years ago, Kenny Pickett, then all of a sudden Pitt's winning the ACC or the ACC championship game and all that.
Your aura almost knows you're gonna have a good season before you do. Like you walk into a room and everybody's just like, ooh, something's different, and then they go have a good season. So we'll let you know who it is. I've kept notes on the guys we've already talked to, the guys that have already walked through, and obviously we won't know until the end of tomorrow's show who passes the aura test. So that's all happening ACC tip-off here in Charlotte, and we look forward to bringing it to you. That's number one. Let's get to number two.
Number 2.
Well, this is a shout out to one of our colleagues. A couple of them, actually. Pat Welter, who will be joining our show at about 3:30 live here. He's here for ACC tip-off. And when you join with Brian Murphy and do some reporting and put an article out on WRAL News with the I'm not questioning them, but their sources gave some quotes that raise your eyebrows a little bit, make you go a little crazy. It's all about UNC football, and I'll just read one line for you to let you know the explosive nature. A source with firsthand knowledge of the program told WRAL this is about UNC football this season. It's an unstructured mess. There's no culture, no organization. It's a complete disaster. And that's not just pointing to the scores or the on-field play. That is relationship-wise within the program, hierarchy of players, preferential treatment that some of the sources were passing along, and then all the way down to some of the more basic things about a college football program that have been run a long time apparently aren't running with any kind of rhythm or It's hard. Good vibrations. A lot of vibrations early in the show.
I mean, we can obviously see it. I've been to 2 of the 3 home games, and there's clearly some level of disconnect, like among the team as a whole. Like there isn't any unity on the field, and it reflects with how they play on the field as well. You heard the word individualism out there. Well, it reflects the way they play on the field as well. And something that Pat pointed out, again, we'll talk to him at 3:30 in his piece on WRAL, was the fact that the players that don't travel, because not every player travels for games. It's just, you have 105 guys. You're not going to bring everybody. But even those travel players for home games don't dress, which I thought was because even for any other college football program, if you're healthy, you dress for a home game. It's just what is. So I'm like, wait a second. Now you're treating these guys like they're practice squad players. That's essentially the way you're doing it. And I'm like, how am I going to feel included if you're not going to include me?
We're going to have to dive in further to it, because that's such a little thing that means so much.
Yes.
For a lot of players in the college football program, the highlight of their career is putting on the jersey and jogging out of the tunnel, 8 times a year, 7 times a year. And that's it. And then
warm-ups, that's it.
And they get their tails kicked every practice by the guys that are out there actually playing the snaps. And to take that away and then go, I don't know why we're all disjointed is completely missing the forest for the trees. Like, you think you're doing something, but you're doing the exact opposite of what you think you're doing.
Oh, they're not doing the Hulu thing either.
No, they're not
the whole thing with the Hulu. And actually, it's interesting that that story came out from Inside Carolina earlier this afternoon, because I remember at the TCU game, you saw the Hulu cameras there post game and the with the presser and all that stuff. They were there for the Richmond poster, but against Clemson afterwards, I was like, those Hulu cameras aren't around. Sure enough, we found out today that Hulu thing ain't happening anymore. Well, go figure.
A David Hill article, ESPN covers the ACC, from back in when this was all announced, basically said the memo noted that after the first month of Belichick being announced as UNC's head coach, Jordan Hudson had pretty much moved back from any kind of role she had. She was there essentially, the way that the article said, for hiring staff, and until other people got into place, she wore some different hats. The memo also noted that Jordan is playing an active role in the filming and production of a documentary about Coach Belichick's first season in college football. So in that capacity, she may be seen on the sidelines of Carolina football practices or games. I want to know why she still is.
Yeah.
If the documentary's not happening. There's a lot to get to. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
So we brought this up yesterday, actually, on the show. Yesterday, the pre-scrimmage for Duke basketball, where they'll count down to craziness.
Yeah, count down to craziness. That was back Friday night.
Yes, it was. They brought out Jason Tatum.
Yeah,
and their head coach John Shire said he's going to be helping us this season, or helping the team this season. I forget what the exact role was or exact wording was. And there was quite a bit of, what does that mean? We kind of know, or we at least have more words to vaguely describe what it might mean. Jason Tatum has been named the senior basketball official for Duke basketball, which again, kind of sounds like it means something, but I'm not really sure what. They went on to explain, chief basketball officer, not official. Let me be clear. Officer. School said the tasks will include in-person visits with the team to discuss development, professionalism, and team culture. Areas such as career management, building a personal brand, or managing time demands as a college athlete. Tatum will also check in with periodic virtual team meetings or discuss roster construction with Coach John Shire. This is, first of all, great experience for the kids, right? Getting to hear from Jason Tatum. He's obviously doing it the right way and capitalizing in a huge way financially, emotionally, and all. And if he has extra time this season, that can happen for the Boozer twins, or some of these guys that already have brands that they kind of need to manage. And then from this, the closer you can be to Jason Tatum, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm Duke, I'm going, all right, senior basketball officer. I think he needs chief basketball officer. I think he needs an assistant chief basketball officer. Can we call Kyrie? Where's Paulo Banchero? I think they need an assistant chief basketball officer, because you just want to keep reminding everybody over and over again that you crank out NBA players.
I mean, basically, hey, I'm going to teach you guys how to be pros.
Just answer whatever questions you have.
It's basically it. Teach you guys how to be pros. That's essentially what they're going to do. Teach them how to be pros, and there's nothing wrong with that either. If you have that resource, use it.
Boom.
Use it.
Especially if he has the time.
This year, he's just be rehabbing this season.
And John Shire has a relationship with him. He was an assistant on the coaching staff when Jason Tatum was in Durham. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the big 3 at 3. Coming up next, we will hear our first conversation from here at ACC Tipoff, kicking off ACC basketball season. Seth Trimble, the leader, senior guard for UNC, definitely one of the most senior members and really the only returning main contributor for UNC. He stopped by our booth here at ACC Tipoff earlier today. That conversation's coming right out of break.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No. I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto loans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan from my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been following the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for 9 weeks now. And I've lost 40 pounds. That's right, 40 pounds in 9 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And to put that even more context, that's 13% of my body weight. 13% of my body weight gone in 9 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I'm sleeping a whole lot better. My fiance doesn't even notice when I'm sleeping at night because I'm no longer snoring. My resting heart rate is all improved. So many other physical parts about my body just feel so much better thanks to the weight that I've lost at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you can get on that journey as well. Set up a free 15-minute phone call by visiting RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506. Let the folks over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center answer any of the questions and concerns that you have. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex Decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, joined by one of the most senior members of the North Carolina Tar Heel men's basketball team, senior guard Seth Trimble. Seth, we appreciate the time. Correct me if I'm missing any here. I know everybody's talking about the Ben & Jerry's franchisee.
Right.
There's Drip Drop Hydration. There's ALO Wellness, Aloe Wellness. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yoga. Are we a business guy now? Like, are you passing along as much advice to the young guys on the team about business as you are basketball?
I'm trying to. We're getting there. You know, as I'm learning myself, you know, I'm learning how to share that information. Also, love Aloe, love all the NIL deals I've been fortunate with. But the Ben & Jerry's, being able to call myself an owner on that is my biggest accomplishment in the business field. So I'm super excited about that.
Learning that part of yourself, and even when it comes to basketball, right? You're really the only returning contributor to this team. Mm-hmm. How does that change your role from, you know, when RJ's around? You know, obviously that's a different relationship than you might have with a guy 2 or 3 years younger than you.
Right. I have to just take more of a role model leadership. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, be a role model for these guys, but I'm putting them in the right way. I'm leading them right, and I'm just being a voice for them because they need it. You know, they're at a new school. They're in a new city. With new people, and I'm a guy who's been here for going on 4 years now. So, you know, I have to be that guy, but, you know, I also love being that guy.
With you being that guy and being around the program and passing along the North Carolina way and all those things, are you down to play a quick game with us?
Come on, let's do it.
It's a little, I call it like rapid reactions or rapid scouting reports.
All right, let me sit up.
I want to get to know the new guys, right? We know you. We knew so many of the guys last year.
Right.
I'm going to say a name. Can you give us like a one sentence of what you think of their style or their game or something like that?
Easy.
All right, cool. Jaren Stevenson.
Jaren Stevenson, floor spacer, elite defender.
Henri Veesar.
Henri Veesar, all-around unicorn.
All-around unicorn. I like that one. Jonathan Powell.
Sharpshooter, elite defender.
Luka Bogovac.
Offensive creator.
All right, I'm gonna ask for some follow-ups here, but we're gonna keep it rolling.
All right.
Kyan Evans.
Kyan Evans, floor general, without a doubt.
Caleb Wilson.
Dog. That boy's nice. That boy's nice. I'm excited about Caleb.
All right, and last one might be a little bit tougher. Seth Trimble's offseason improvements.
Impeccable, drastic, huge. Any positive word you can think of. Been a huge summer for me. I've been working on exactly what I need to and more, so I'm super excited for it.
All right. Diving into those a bit further. Caleb Wilson. I'm sitting here. We're talking with Seth Trimble, North Carolina guard. Your eyes lit up. Like there was. I'm sure those watching on YouTube could see like the body language change. What is it about him, and how has it kind of gotten you that excited so quickly?
Caleb just really excites me. Like Caleb reminds me of me if I was 6'9". I mean, he has a motor. He's an incredible defender. He can get to the basket at will. He's really, really good in the mid-range, and then he's not afraid to step out and space the floor and be a shooter for us. So, I mean, he really has kind of all the tools. He's incredible. He's incredible. I'm really excited to play with him. He's still learning, obviously. You know, he has his days, but that's what I'm here for. That's what our coaches are here for, just to continue to motivate him and push him and teach him each and every day. But, I mean, he's going to be really good.
For Veesar, you say unicorn. I think that might be like, it's one of those phrases that's getting over, like everyone that's 7 feet is described as a unicorn, right?
That's
like
real, yeah.
What is it that makes it maybe one of the real unicorns that we should actually use that as a description for?
Yeah, I mean, he can truly space the floor. When he pops and he's on my team, I know the ball is going in. He can put the ball on the floor from the top of the key. He can play in the mid-range and, you know, get to the basket from there. And then he has really good touch. And he's one of those 7-foot guys that, you know, actually have athleticism. You can throw the ball up and he's going to go get it. And he's one of those bigs with a lot in their bag.
Seth Trimble, North Carolina Tar Heels senior guard here at ACC Tipoff, joining us at our table. When you talk about Jaren Stevenson, you say floor spacer. When we talk about Henri Veesar and you go right to unicorn, he can spread and shoot and he's popping. Does part of you want to tell the big guys to go down low, like and rim protect and know where they are and get down low? Because especially with the way last season went, where at times it felt like you were lacking size.
I mean, absolutely, but they have been all summer. They have been all summer. You know, Jaren, I say floor spacer because he's been an elite shooter all summer for us, and he's been an elite defender. But Jaren, all summer long, has been able to put the ball down and get to the paint. He's played in the post a ton this summer. And shown us that, especially in the last couple of weeks. He's gotten a lot of post spins, post fades, you know, getting to the basket and just being really crafty there. So there's so much more to these guys' games than, you know, what I'm telling you now, but just some of the first games that come to mind.
It's kind of messed up of me to make you do it in one sentence and then be like, you didn't mention everything they do. So that one might be on me.
You all good.
It's rare to be at North Carolina, a school with so much history, like while it's going through changes. GM Jim Tanner's been with the program now for whatever it is, 7 months and change. Have you noticed anything different about the way the program's run or anything going on with North Carolina now that there's a general manager in place?
Absolutely. Mr. Tanner has done an incredible job of making Coach Davis's job easier. So, you know, with roster construction, dealing with NIL this, NIL that, it's taken so much off Coach Davis's desk where he can really just be the best basketball coach and the best mentor for us and, you know, the best listener that he could possibly be. So, I mean, Mr. Tanner's doing an incredible job. I'm sure he knows it. I need to tell him if he doesn't hear it enough, but yeah, he's been really good for us.
I have two kind of fun ones here for you. One, I know everybody's going to ask you this, but we want it on the record. Ice cream flavor, right? Like what's the go-to? If I'm showing up to you brought it up. You're the owner. If I show up to your Ben and Jerry's, what should I order?
Listen, you're the first person to ask me this, and I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about
An
it.
exclusive here on the drive.
There's been a couple options. I might go with the salted caramel delight and the mint chocolate chip mix. Put those two together, and it creates kind of a savory taste that I really like. So that's been my favorite duo so far.
Do you have access, like after hours, you going in there and making yourself a sundae?
I do have a key, but I haven't done that.
All right.
I haven't done that.
Last one for you here, and I know you have a lot of these interviews to get to. Who's a bigger? You have to help me on the pronunciation. Is it Menominee?
Menominee.
Menominee. All right. Who is a bigger deal at Menominee Falls High School? Seth Trimble or Andy Hurley, who is the drummer of Fall Out Boy and apparently also went to your high school?
I'll give Mr. Hurley his love. I'll give him a lot of credit. I'm just out of humbleness. I'm gonna go ahead and say him. Because Fall Out Boy, that's a band right there. Right?
When you look up notable alumni, it's like you and Andy Hurley from Fall Out Boy.
I had no idea Mr. Hurley went to the Falls, but I'm gonna go ahead and say his name.
There you go, Seth. We appreciate you for taking the time and good luck this season and enjoy Media Day.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Once again, that is Seth Trimble from earlier today. Joining us here at ACC Tipoff. We are live in Charlotte for the entirety of today and tomorrow's show, and we'll be bringing you many more of those conversations featuring ACC basketball players and coaches. Matter of fact, coming up in a few minutes, you'll be hearing from Hubert Davis, who is Seth Trimble's head coach with the North Carolina Tar Heels. And I mean, Seth Trimble has to be, as you heard there, he's like a Hercules is like a demigod, right? Because he's more than a man but less than a god. Seth Trimble has to be like a demi-coach, like he's more than a player but less than a coach. When you look at how many on their depth chart are incoming freshmen like Caleb Wilson, incoming players from overseas like Bogovats, or incoming transfers like Stevenson and Veesar and so many others. And then he's simply sitting there like a 4-year player at North Carolina, which simply doesn't happen that often. 4-year players in college basketball specifically feel like dinosaurs. So he's been there for the ride. He's along for it. And he and Hubert Davis will be leading the way for UNC. And we'll talk to Hubert, not just about Seth Trimble, but the rest of the roster coming up here in a second.
It's interesting, just the level of maturity from Seth Trimble, I think, is such a big thing. Like you said, he's in all these other business ventures, but also still being a productive player on the floor. When you're bringing in a young guy like Caleb Wilson, like, hey, this is how things are run here. I've been to this culture for 4 years. I know what it's like, but also here's how you have to be off the court as well in terms of just how you handle your life as a person.
I don't know about many of you, but I know that if you gave me the key to an ice cream shop when I was in high school,
I'd be eating so much.
I would not be in the shape that Seth Trimble is in.
I wouldn't be either. Goodness.
If it was like, guys, let's go get some ice cream. Oh, the ice cream shops are closed. Not the one I own on Franklin Street. Jingle the keys. Let's go. That's good self-discipline from Seth just to be in the shape that he's in. And he is in very good shape. He's an explosive athlete and it's pretty impressive. So there you go. The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And you heard the recommendation there. If you stop by his Ben & Jerry's, he gave you the order. With that being said, there's no transition. Dennis, you have something you'd like to tell everybody?
I do. Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing coming down here today, I did see a couple other motorcycles out there on the road, and I was kind of jealous for the simple fact of, I was like, you know what? If I didn't have all this equipment, I'd probably be riding my bike down here as well. Something you're going to see, folks, out there on the road is a lot of motorcycles this time of year as the weather gets nice. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, this is actually what Law Tigers recommends that you do. Law Tigers are part of the motorcycle riding community, and they understand what it's like to go through an accident. And here's actually directly from Law Tigers what you need to do in the case of an accident. First of all, if you can, take pictures of the accident. Take pictures of your bike, and also don't move your bike. Obviously, get yourself in a safe place. But one of the most important things that you need to do is you need to make sure that you get medical attention, because sometimes if you're injured in an accident, you don't even realize it because you just have adrenaline flowing through your body. And that's even in a vehicle accident as well. Still go get medical attention to make sure everything is okay. Don't feel like, oh, I'm good, I can walk away. Then the next day, things are hurting. That can be a problem for you down the line. So make sure you get medical attention. But most importantly, contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance companies, and talk to a Law Tigers attorney even before you give a written statement to the insurance companies. Here's the thing with Law Tigers. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and you don't owe a dime until your case settles. So again, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. You can always visit lawtigers.com to see the benefits that they offer you as attorneys. But if you are injured, Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, earlier today, caught up with Hubert Davis, head coach, North Carolina Tar Heels. That conversation right after this.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing you need to make sure with your motorcycle that you do is properly store your bike. If you have a garage, obviously keep it in there. But if you can't, make sure you keep it covered. Keep it out of the elements. We got a lot of moisture, got a lot of rain runoff. Take care of your motorcycle, and it will take care of you. But accidents, unfortunately, do happen, and this is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Law Tigers are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, but most importantly, they know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation is always free with Law Tigers, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So make sure you contact them even before you contact the insurance companies, because insurance companies, they want to pay you the least amount possible. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call, or you can always visit them online, lawtigers.com. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the fives next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Back here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Sitting down here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte, Hubert Davis, head coach, North Carolina Tar Heels. Coach, did you think you'd be coming to one of these things with one of your players owning an ice cream shop on Franklin Street? Because we just talked to Seth Trimble, and he's the entrepreneur, man. He's the owner.
No, he is. He's an entrepreneur. He's an owner, and I've been I have problems when I have dairy, so I've been begging him to get some dairy-free options in his Ben & Jerry's store. And so this week I'm going to stop by and see if there's any options.
As we look towards the basketball part of it, though, he's the veteran, right? He's the returning kind of contributor and the life experience. You mix in, the stuff we were just joking about. How much do you lean on him when you're bringing in so many transfers and freshmen that are expected to contribute in a big way?
Yeah, definitely leaning on him. He's obviously a senior and been in the program for 4 years, and he's an accomplished player and somebody that has really enjoyed and looked forward to being in this leadership role. He's done a magnificent job. His personality, he leads with his personality. It's been vocally, but it's also been through his actions, and it comes across so genuine that each one of his teammates just instinctively just have to follow and lead. He's doing a fantastic job, and I'm so thankful that this team is led by him.
Why was this the year to drop into the transfer portal more than we've seen, right? You bring in guys like Veesar and Stevenson and Evans and on Powell, and we could keep going. What was it about maybe that group or your needs that made it this year to bring in so many?
Yeah, I mean, for recruiting, whether it's high school or transfer portal or international, they have to check 2 boxes, a want and a need. And so there was a want and then there was a need there for us to go into the transfer portal. And so really happy with the pieces that we were able to get, whether transfer portal or international. Their personalities in their games perfectly mix well together, and I've really enjoyed coaching all of them.
We were just talking with Seth, and I had him give just a 1-sentence scouting report on the new guys, right? So we knew what to look like early on. And for both Stevenson and Henry, he brought up their shooting ability, which there's some size there, and I know a lot of UNC fans wanted the rim protection that they bring. How do you mix maybe their versatile skill sets that they can get out on the perimeter while also understanding you're 7 feet and you're 6'10", 6'11", and there is a spot down low that you need them to be effective?
Well, I think that this lineup provides us tremendous versatility. Obviously, we have a lot more size this year, but not just in the front court. I think we have positional size, even from the guard positions, wings, and so it allows us to do different things on both ends of the floor that are really exciting. And so you talked about Jaron Stevenson and Henri Veesar. Those are bigs that obviously can score around the basket, but they can also shoot from 3 as well. And skilled basketball players that can do a number of things out there on the floor.
Speaking of that, and we're talking with Hubert Davis, North Carolina Tar Heels head men's basketball coach. I have a quote here from Caleb Wilson, one of your freshmen.
Okay.
After the blue-white scrimmage, talking with the media, he talked about the team gelling, and your smile tells me you know exactly where this is going.
I don't, but I love him to death.
Okay. He was quoted by a few different media members saying, "We have so many talented players. Once it comes together, we are going to be the best team in the country." How do you feel about your freshmen saying something like that, kind of standing on business after, before the ball has even been tipped in a regular season game?
Well, I think, one of the many things that I love about Caleb is he instinctively, initially thinks about team. As talented as he is, he's always thinking about the team and he's always thinking about the program. Like he wants our team and our program to be successful. And gosh, when you have talented players that are thinking team first, that's something that brings a huge smile to a coach's face. And I'm so glad that Caleb's on our team.
Kyan Evans, he shows up with some pretty impressive shooting statistics, and some of his trainers and things have been quoted comparing him to some pretty lofty shooters. You've been around basketball in every different facet. Does his shooting ability compare to somebody that you've crossed paths with or covered or watched or coached or played with?
Yeah, I'm not a big comparison guy, but Kyan does bring a number of skills to our team that are at elite level, and one of them is his ability to be able to shoot and shoot with range, but not just from 3, around the basket, mid-range. Very skilled offensive player, and so to be able to get him the experience of playing at Colorado State and playing on big stages and showing up big is something that we were looking for and needed, and Kyan definitely fills that position.
7.5 months since Jim Tanner was announced as your general manager. How much has that changed your life as a coach? What impact has it had in, when you're designing a new position, you never really, know what that's going to morph into? What does it become?
Yeah, it's, you said 7.5 months. It hadn't even been a year, and I'm so thankful that Jim decided to join our coaching staff, our team. It was a position that was needed. We work really well together. And then on the other end, my job 5 years ago, I was named head coach at University of North Carolina. My name is still head coach at University of North Carolina. So my responsibilities are still the same.
Not much time here, so one more, and thank you for your time. I asked a few fans. I got fans in a group, and I said, you get one question for Hubert Davis. What is it? So here it is. What do you have to do to get Michael Jordan more involved, or is he more involved than maybe fans would know? That was. They kind of settled on it.
Okay. Well, Michael and I have a great relationship. Obviously, him going to North Carolina, we played against each other a number of years when he was with the Bulls and I was with the New York Knicks, and then we got to play together. He was my teammate with the Washington Wizards, so we have a great relationship, and he is involved. Michael Jordan is not a regular person. He just can't.
Very true. It's not like at the grocery store.
Go to the grocery store or go to the movies. But I saw him earlier this fall, and he told me that he wanted to come to a couple games this year, and for me to text him some good games to come. So I'm looking forward to seeing him at a game this year.
Coach, we appreciate it, and good luck this season.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
That is Hubert Davis, head coach, North Carolina Tar Heels, earlier today here at ACC Tipoff. Coach seemed like in a good mood to me.
Yeah.
Which, in my experience, my vast experience, as I overplay my experience in sports, tells me when coaches are in good moods, it usually means their team is playing well, or he thinks their team is talented, or like when coaches are in good moods, it means practice looks the way he wants practice to look. That's just me inferring, but coach seemed like he was in a good mood.
I asked him about the ice cream. That just
I mean, talk about being in situations that guys have never been in before.
I mean, let's be honest. At what point did Hubert Davis ever in his coaching career think when he started, one of my players is going to be the franchise owner of a Ben & Jerry's on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill?
Yeah, why guys are stretching, you're walking around, you're making small talk with your players. Hey, how's the Ben & Jerry's that you own doing?
Yeah.
The mint chocolate selling well. All right, nice, way to go. All right, and you go to the next guy. How's that English test?
Yeah, no.
I was
Did you finish your paper?
You're advancing in your major. By the way, what's the debits and credits on the ice cream shop looking like? But hey, it's modern college basketball.
Yeah,
and like I say this, I've said this a few times. I'll say it again. To me, that is what NIL was like designed to do.
Yeah.
Now Seth Trimble is an entrepreneur, owner of a franchise. Regardless of what happens in basketball, he has something to lean on as a profession if he needs it. It's a good spot to be. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9, the fan, from the good vibes of UNC basketball to maybe the opposite of good vibes for UNC football. Pat Welter, WRAL sports anchor and reporter, will be joining us here at ACC Tipoff to discuss his article, which you can find on WRAL.com, all about what's going on here.
I was saying you have a Bailey's read. I was pointing at your watch.
I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I will tell everybody about that.
Trying to get the nonverbals. But we're just saying, you have to do a Bailey's read.
I have to do a Bailey. I have to tell you all about Bailey's fine jewelry. And there's a lot in radio when you're tapping the watch. I'm like, it's time for what? What am I forgetting? Turns out I was forgetting to tell you about Bailey's. And that's not something to forget. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I'm wearing a little military-inspired watch right now, hack watch as they call it, the watch that won the war. If you're into military history, check out the Hamiltons at the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Hamiltons have a storied history, not just on the military side of things, but also there's iconic watches that have been worn in movies that have the Hamilton brand. Obviously, the other brands, the ones that you're thinking of, the pre-owned and vintage Rolex, the Omegas, Many of the other watches also have histories in the military or dive watches or function watches of some form or fashion, Blancpain, obviously. And you can check all those out at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop and Bailey's Fine Jewelry as well. So that and much, much more is available at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. If you like I do, a watch with a story, they've got plenty of them at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Let them know when you check it out that you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. Pat Welter stops by to talk about his article, Divided Locker Room, Disastrous Results. Players, Parents, Blame Belichick Culture for UNC Problems. That is the headline. The conversation is next.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Looking for serious power and a serious deal? It's truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford, and you can get 5.9% financing for 84 months on the tough, dependable GMC Sierra 2500. Whether it's for work, play, or both, the Sierra 2500 brings the muscle, and Wilkinson makes it easy to drive one home today. See dealer for details. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Football season is here, and Carolina Ale House is the place to be. With a massive beer selection, wall-to-wall TVs, and our award-winning wings, you'll never miss a play. Add in our lineup of homemade favorites, and you've got the best seat in the house. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and help us create that game day atmosphere all season long at Carolina Ale House. Wings, beer, sports, repeat. Ale yeah.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
Lopez in the pistol with Hood behind him. He will hand to him. Hood right side, slithers through and powers home. Touchdown, Carolina. What a start for Belichick in the heel.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. That seems to be how every UNC football game starts, with a great first drive, and then it goes downhill from there. Joining us now to talk about the UNC football team, mostly away from the field, is Pat Welter, WRAL sports reporter. I encourage everybody to go check out his article, WRAL.com sports section. The headline, I read it before the break: Divided Locker Room, Disastrous Results, Players, Parents, Blame Belichick Culture for UNC Problems. Pat, how's your last 24 hours been? Like when you press send on or post, well, I don't know how the official publish, I guess might be the term, on an article like this, your adrenaline has to be pumping.
Oh, I mean, right before we got it over the finish line, I honestly felt like I was going to throw up. I mean, just because, I've been working on this since the spring. Like I got a tip that things were not going well, that there was some culture issues, that there was kind of a disregard for the level of schooling, kind of the way, a lot of things that ended up coming out in the report, but I couldn't get it over the finish line at the time. So then when you get the sources start to coming through to a point where like, wow, I can report this, and then you forget all the legal aspects and then you have to go over it to make sure it's airtight. And that's what we did the best to do.
Some of these quotes, I mean, I'll read one here quickly. It comes from a source with firsthand knowledge of the program who told WRAL, that's you. It's an unstructured mess. There's no culture, no organization. It's a complete disaster. End of quote. That right. I mean, I don't have to tell everybody what it is. They just heard it, right? When sources start telling you things like that, right? You get a tip that, hey, things might not be going well. Like, is there the moment of like realization where it's, oh goodness, right? The Jurassic Park, this dinosaur is out of the cage, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that kind of deal.
I mean, yeah, like so many of these people that I met working on this story, like quotes like that were the first thing out of their mouth because that's how frustrated people are.
Wow.
Like people, like some of the sources I had were from relationships built over years. Others were people I had literally just met, and they are telling me these specific details of what's going on. And I think that's what you're seeing now. Like it is boiled over. People are frustrated. People are upset, and it's a mess of UNC's own making to a certain extent, right? Like, I don't think I can blame them for taking the big swing on Bill Belichick. They clearly have missed so far. I probably can blame them for maybe not doing the due diligence to find out that maybe he wasn't dialed into the point that he needed to be. Clearly, as we've seen now, hindsight's always 20/20. But yeah, I think people are frustrated, and it comes from the culture that he's created, where it was supposed to be this NFL pro-like system. Well, in reality, it's created a very individualistic culture, a divided culture. It's Mac Brown era players versus Bill Belichick's era players. And what he's done very little to unite that, to combat that. And there's just poor communication at all levels. The actual coaching, the relationships with the coaches, the relationships with the parents, the players. And now you're seeing where there's basically no loyalty. Like everyone's trying to not put this on him, and so because it looks like it's on them right now.
We're talking with Pat Welter, WRAL sports reporter. Check out his article on the Belichick culture and the problems that have stemmed from it on WRAL.com. It also dives into a bit of like you brought up the actual coaching, in which one of the only, like, I don't even know if it's a positive, half positives in the article is people actually do kind of respect Bill Belichick's like hands-on coaching. When he's the one doing the football coaching, it seems to be going well. But maybe the rest of the staff doesn't have that same touch. How much of the frustration maybe missed Belichick but landed on his assistants?
Yeah, I think that's it. Because that's from the beginning of the spring. I've heard that Bill Belichick, as a coach himself, still has it as far as like what he sees. One person I talked to said he's a football genius. So there's still things that he sees that no one else does. But that's where it comes to the communication. He has little relationship with the players. Like he's created a separation. Now maybe some of that is how he ran it in New England. I don't know. I didn't cover that team to that extent, but clearly like there's a disconnect between the way he ran an NFL program and a college program, something that they maybe thought they had figured out. They hadn't. And, if you're UNC brass right now, the UNC decision makers, from what I've heard from them, is that they want to help try to support him to fix this, to help him. I understand he's never coached college before, but he has to be willing to accept that help as well.
What stood out to me was that part you brought up. Right, they're going to be the 33rd pro team. That's what was one of their sayings, right? They're going to run a pro system and a pro this and a pro that. Is it possible they just bought into that too much? Because from my playing career, I played college football.
Yeah.
One of the little things that stood out to me so much is that the guys that don't travel don't get to dress at home.
Right.
So if you're not if you don't make the travel roster, it is what it is. But at least home games, you get to put on the jersey, you get to run through the tunnel, you get to hear the coaches and do the pregame speech and all of those things. And it's, for some guys, the highlight of their career. That's all they ever get to do. But in the NFL, if you're on the practice squad, you don't dress out. There are like league rules against it. To me, that is like, we're going to do it the pro way, but there's no real reason for it, right? Other than it is the pro way. When the college way has been working, and it's did they just buy too much into it? Did they not know enough? Is it like, I don't want to use the word ignorant, but is it an ignorance of what college football is? So they're just doing the NFL thing for ignorance sake?
I mean, I think we're seeing it play out that way, right? Like it might have been well-intentioned that they thought, but I think this whole story is about the little things becoming big. In that's one example, right? The non-travel roster not getting addressed. So what does that do? That creates a lack of camaraderie. That makes those people not feel like they're part of the wins. Obviously, you don't want to be a part of the losses right now. So at least they're immune from that. Yeah, exactly. But so those are the little things. Like obviously, some transfer players are going to make more are going to make more money, right? That's kind of the nature of the system. But then you have to do something to foster that unity, that camaraderie. And when you're giving certain players and families more tickets, better parking, can dress on game days, cannot. You're just making a list of things that create division. And when there's adversity, you're seeing the results.
The tickets thing is a funny storyline. And just the way it goes, you read in this article that, and again, from my college playing days, I remember everybody gets their amount of tickets on game day. And if you don't have family coming, you go to your buddies, hey, do you need 2 extra tickets? Or, you know, a lot of times upperclassmen have a particular like redshirt freshman who always has extra tickets. And if you know, like, hey, like, just, you know, your tickets are mine and I'll, you know, free rides around, or I'll bring you to practice or whatever it is. Apparently some of those are being sold rather than spread around the locker room, which is a weird bonding thing. It's hard to explain, but it exists. Then there's a text message that goes out today that just says, like, hey, everybody, just so you know, this is from UNC compliance to the players.
Yes.
You're not allowed to sell tickets. If you sell them for any kind of compensation, it could mess with your eligibility. So, like, I don't, like, were people talking about this almost like they were so anxious to get things off their chest that they almost were maybe hurting their own eligibility in the process?
I mean, I got some of the tips I had back in the spring were about potential recruiting violations. So I put in some public records requests, and I did find one. I found a recruiting violation, but it was so minor, and the penalty from the NCAA was basically a slap on the wrist. I didn't even bother reporting it because it's like, oh, Bill Belichick got a slap on the wrist for like slightly talking to somebody when they shouldn't. Like it didn't even matter. But like now, again, the little things become big. It's an example of he didn't know a specific rule. He had just started. It doesn't sound like they told anybody they couldn't sell the tickets. And I kind of, that was the funny thing. If you actually read the message, they say, the rule may have changed, but this specific thing
a lot
is
of rules
still a
have
violation.
changed, but not this one.
Right, like you still can be ruled ineligible. It's almost like everyone's like, oh, I can do whatever I want now in the NIL era.
You can pay players. Anything money involved is legal.
Exactly.
Like if money is changing hands, we're allowed to now because my quarterback drives a nice car. Like it at times feels that way, but it's probably important to remind the kids that it maybe isn't. Last part, you brought up that they do kind of want to still support him and they want to help him with the change. You have quotes from parents. You have quotes from obviously sources within direct knowledge of the program. Did you get the vibe that they all thought it was fixable? Like with humility and a little bit like of, oh, hey, didn't know that was so important to you. We'll change it back to the old way. Is it salvageable, or is it already to the point where, at least with those involved in the program now, they recognize, new people might need to be the decision?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all seen what we've seen on the field, right? And it's hard to comprehend how this team that had around 8 wins, a lot under Mac Brown and the program, has fallen to 128th in points per game in all of FBS.
And the defense isn't much better.
And this is my opinion, but when I look at this situation, like, yeah, could he maybe figure it out? Could he turn it around? But at 73 years old, what is the point? Like, this was a big swing, and it has been a big miss. Now it's sports. Crazier things have happened. They could figure it out. They could rally around all this reporting. They could come together. This could drive them together. Max Johnson could have an incredible game. He played Clemson last. That's a great team talent-wise, right? Like, the better days could be ahead. But I certainly wouldn't bet on it based on what I've seen on the field, based on what I've heard, and based on all my whole life watching football. So I think from a UNC decision-maker standpoint, I understand that they're like, well, we have to be patient.
Pot committed in a lot of ways.
You know what? Like, it's a huge investment. Yep. We're here. We're 5 games in. But, speaking to a pretty high-level source yesterday in the athletic department for a long time, which is one of the things that helped me get this story over the finish line, because I ran everything by them. That's the thing. Before I published this, I made calls within UNC to several different levels to make sure this was okay. And when I wasn't getting pushback really at all, or fighting for it, or defending, I mean, there was some minor things. Like, I have a quote in there from a coaching staff member. It's like, it's not my view that the locker room was divided. I didn't exactly get a emphatic long response. You know what I mean? So I think I understand where they're like, we have to try to be patient, we have to try to support him, but I keep going back to that thing that this source told me. He has to be willing to accept the help. And when we're seeing a guy that is banning Patriots,
he's notoriously not the guy that accepts help. It would have to be a big change.
That they're not posting about Drake May. That tells me that he's still as petty as ever, and it's hard for me to believe he'd accept the help, but we'll find out.
I encourage everybody to read the entire article. We obviously couldn't touch on every quote, and you're going to want to read every quote. Pat Welter, great reporting.
Thanks, man.
WRAL.com. Check it out. Pat Welter, the reporter on the culture at UNC. We have football 4 coming up next. Don't go anywhere. More from ACC Tipoff here in Charlotte.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, Chili Lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Welcome home. Your home's not just where you live, it's where life happens. At Baker Home Exteriors, we're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same craftsmanship to your doorstep. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the journey of weight loss with Raleigh Weight Loss Center for 9 weeks now, and I've lost 40 pounds. That's real talk. I've lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I feel the effects of those 40 pounds gone throughout my everyday life. My knees, hips, and ankles just simply feel better when walking the dog in the morning or go playing in my men's league hockey games. I feel so much better after having a good night of sleep because I'm sleeping so much better thanks to the weight that I've lost through Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you can get on that journey as well. Give them a call at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's right. I'll say it again. A free 15-minute phone call. Not sure if the program is right for you? Any questions and concerns that you might have? Set up that free consultation right now at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Well, it's a warm afternoon out there. High temperatures in the mid-80s with increasing clouds as we get through the afternoon and evening. 67 and cloudy overnight tonight, and big changes come tomorrow. A cold front will bring us a good chance for showers and storms in the afternoon and evening, and it will be cooler with highs in the mid to upper 70s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 91 points to 46,602.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football 4, even though we are out here in Charlotte at the Hilton for ACC Tipoff. We're kicking off basketball season, tipping off basketball season, I guess you should say. But that doesn't mean that it's not time for football at 4. It just means we're now in one of the sweetest overlaps of the basketball, football, hockey calendar. But which, by the way, haven't mentioned this yet today. The Canes start on Thursday. And the NHL season starts today for other tems that we'll get into later. But
literally in an hour.
But the Carolina Hurricanes, Thursday. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan, taking on the Devils. For the meantime, football at 4, right? We talk pigskin at 4. And we did a little bit of this yesterday, but I do think anytime we're going to talk Bryce Young following a Panther game, there is an element of everybody sleep on it, maybe twice. Like everybody let the emotions run out because for whatever reason, and maybe it's because of the investment, maybe it's because Bryce Young seems like a really good dude. he is exceptionally polarizing to the point where if after the Panthers game against the Dolphins, if you were to say, like, gosh, Bryce, I think they got to move on from him, there would be a herd of people ready to stomp on you. Meanwhile, the same would happen if you said, like, hey, that was a heck of a final drive for Bryce, or the heck of a comeback for Bryce. You'd have the herd of people coming in the other direction. And it's like, I didn't know there were two herds here. But because of that, I think you need to let all, like, the extremists on either end simmer down a little bit, and then you can have a real conversation. Because the fact is, he's somewhere in the middle, right? The fact is you can't, as his supporters are wont to do, you can't just remove turnovers. One of my biggest, most frustrating things that football fans specifically do is they go, well, if you take out those 3 throws, he had a really good day. Because that's not how it works. You can't take out the bad plays. Sometimes I'm actually more inclined to say take out like 30 handoffs, right? And then we can talk about the plays where a quarterback actually has some impact. The way I always put it is this, right? Jameis Winston passed for the 10th most passing yards in a single season in NFL history. At the time, it was the 8th most. And he didn't keep his job. He was not a starter in the NFL the next season. And it was because of 3 plays a game. He would be really good for 72 out of 75 offensive snaps, 64 out of 67 offensive snaps, but 3 times a game he would take you on a circus ride, and it would usually end on a turnover, a lot of times unforced. And because of that, he couldn't even be a starter in the NFL after throwing for the 8th most yards in NFL history. So now look at Bryce Young's game on Sunday. Did he do some good things? Yeah. Did he make some good 4th down throws? Yes. Did he have 2 turnovers that were largely unforced? Absolutely. And those were the only reasons you needed the later game heroics. They should have won that game by 2 scores. They should have won that game with Rico Dowdle just grinding out an 8-play drive in the 4th quarter to kill the clock, because you had a running game going that would have done it. But instead, what ended up happening is the 2 bad plays early, very bad plays from Bryce Young, made it so it had to be a frenetic, high-risk, high-wire act return. And you can't ignore the bad, right? I thought this was funny. This is just a little anecdote for you. NC State, as most people were mad at UNC not doing for Drake May, when a former NC State player makes a good play in the NFL, NC State, grabs the highlight from the NFL Twitter, puts it out, gives the caption, right, praises their guy. Well, I'm not sure if everybody realized this. The person that was nearest to Bryce when he fumbled was Bradley Chubb, former NC State edge rusher.
That's right, yeah.
And this is how NC State chose to caption the video, right? They put the video of the fumble, the recovery by Bradley Chubb. This is the wording State used. In the stats, that's a sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery for @astronaut. That's Bradley Chubb's awesome Twitter name. In the stats, they emphasized. Do you know why? Because in practice, that's not a sack. That's not a forced fumble.
Yeah.
You didn't force anything. You didn't sack him. You got near him and he dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And they felt a little weird even saying like a sack, a forced fumble, a recovery for Bradley Chubb. So they said in the stats because they knew he would be credited with those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was that much of a giveaway that State's trying to just, love up on their guy, and even they are going like, well, we don't really deserve it all, but here you go. He was gifted these things. So you can't just ignore those, right? You can't. And it's why I've said, and I tweeted this out over the weekend, don't judge specifically quarterbacks by their 10 best plays, right? Because that's happening with Bryce a lot too, right? The throw to Xavier Legette was a very good throw.
Great throw.
So you post that video and you say, and people tell me Bryce Young ain't a top 10 quarterback. And I'm going like, that doesn't prove anything, right? They show the 4th down to Teteroa McMillan where he keeps the play alive and he makes the guy miss at the last second and he tosses it just far enough for Teteroa to make a great play. Oh, you're telling me Bryce Young isn't all this? And I'm going like, there's not a quarterback in the NFL. We'll talk benched quarterbacks. There's not a quarterback that's been benched in the NFL that if you put his couple best throws from a game out there, you wouldn't be impressed. you judge a quarterback by the other 90%, not the top 10, right? And you judge them on how many risks they have to take to get to that top 10, right? If you're trying to fit it into 1 million small windows and you fit it through 500,000, that's 500,000 bad decisions that you made that may have ended up in interceptions and picks, but you have a really cool highlight film from the 500,000 that made it through the small windows.
I mean, you can easily take the turnovers and put some Benny Hill music to it and be like, this is your guy?
For Patrick Mahomes, you could do that. He threw a pick six down the goal line last night.
I mean, look at Trevor Lawrence stumbling over, got stepped on yesterday, can't get up. He scored a touchdown.
That was a good play with Benny Hill music.
I know.
But my point is this: when talking about Bryce, you have to take the entire thing into account. You can't just take the good. You can't just take the bad. You take the entire thing into account. A quarterback is much more than 90%, and the good ones are consistently pretty solid, occasionally spectacular, and most of the time avoiding the awful. And if you can do that, that's how you end up becoming a franchise guy. So even in a game that he closed well, right? And he made the plays when you had to make them. I still think if you were to judge that game as its entirety, it's below average, right? It's still not a hallmark. It's still not a gold star to give to your player, right? It's I don't know. It's admirable, and it's the performance by Bryce is admirable in its earnestness, right? And its belief and how he's going up and down the sidelines, getting people going. And it's something I've been asking of him. So I'm not knocking him for that. I'm just not forgiving the reason why any of that was necessary in the first place, right? What I want to see is Bryce have that comeback after the first turnover is a fumble by a running back, and the second turnover is a good pass off the hands of a wide receiver. So you're in the hole by no fault of your own, and you have to play a nearly flawless game to come back. When you put yourself in the hole and then drag yourself out, I'm not super excited by that.
Yeah, at best it's a net zero. At best it's a net zero. It's like, yeah, you threw for 2 touchdowns, but you also gave the other team 2 touchdowns.
And that's true too. And
yes, that's what I mean. It's at best a net zero.
And the flip side of it is I still am. I can't quite put my finger on the lack of trust between Dave and Bryce. Dave Canales, Bryce Young. I'm darn near certain that about 10, we'll call it 6 carries into Rico Dowdle's day, Dave Canales was jacked up.
Yeah.
Because he immediately went, oh, I don't have to depend on Bryce today. I have this other thing that I can depend on, and I can go to Bryce in moments where I think I can put the bumpers up. Like we're bowling, right? Like I can put the bumpers up on this play, and I can go to Bryce there. And when I don't think I can have the bumpers up, I have Rico Dowdle in the run game to lean on right now, specifically to the right. And that right there is the reason why I'm saying I'm having a hard time putting my finger on it is because it could be Dave Canales. Maybe he's slow to trust youngsters, slow to trust non-super veteran quarterbacks. But by this point, you should have your coach's trust. By this point, you should have shown them enough to not have them get excited overly when they're like, oh, we don't have to depend on them at all. But after those first 2 turnovers, it's really difficult to expect Dave Canales to trust that guy.
I think I might have the reason why, Tim. I said this to Chris Lee in the press box during Sunday's game. I said, it feels like anytime Bryce has the ball, you're anticipating the next turnover. It really had that feeling. It's like, when's the next turnover going to happen? You just felt like the next one's right around the corner. And maybe Dave Canales has that same feeling of like, that next turnover might be around the corner. I'm not going to trust somebody if I feel like that's going to happen. These guys 7 already this season.
I don't want to say it because sorry, I'm getting some weird echo in my headset, so I'm just starting and stopping randomly. There you go. Thank you very much for fixing that. I don't fear the turnover every time he has the ball. What I fear, the moments that scare me about Bryce are the little mistakes where I don't know if that's, if you put the world's smallest domino next to a little bit bigger, and then you just knock over the littlest domino, and then before you know it, the whole house of cards has fallen down. When he's playing well, I'm actually like, oh, this guy's streaky. He can do some things. He'll put together 6, 7, 8 really good throws in a row. It's when he hesitates once and takes a sack, or when he throws it and it's not an interception, not a turnover. It's a just bad throw high and wide. That's when I go, oh, was that the first domino? Because things get going against him in a big way, and then you have 3 turnovers, which is why I think the Miami game was important for him, because the dominoes were falling against him, and somehow he stopped it. Somehow it ended, which doesn't happen very often for him. But I get it's very much, I hear Jaws music when just a small mistake happens. And by the way, quarterbacks make small mistakes all the time, right? You get away with one. You make a bad throw and it's not an interception. You go, all right, whew, good. And then you can get right back into it. He doesn't seem to get right back into it. That's what I'm worried about. And until he proves time and time and time again that he can eradicate his game of that, I'm not going to expect him to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here from Maynard Service Company. That's exactly like what I need from my athletes is what I get from Maynard Service Company, which is every time something goes wrong, they show up to fix it. No matter what caused it, they show up to fix it, right? You get a squirrel eating away at your HVAC, Maynard Service Company's like, I don't care who's at fault. I don't care who's in control. I'll show up. I'll get it fixed. Your kid decides that it's a great time to flush a full beach towel down the toilet. Maynard Service Company's showing up, right? We're talking heating, cooling, plumbing. Gosh knows what electrical things could go wrong in your house. Maynard Service Company, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the triangle, Wake County, the entirety of it, and 50 miles in each direction. Dependable. Something goes wrong, they'll be there to fix it. There's a turnover, they're there to get the ball back. It's that kind of dependability from Maynard Service Company. So go ahead and give them a call, 919-361-0993. When something goes wrong, you definitely want this number, so put it in your phone now, 919-361-0993, or visit them online, maynardservices.com, MAYNOR services.com. Our conversation from earlier today with Henri Veesar, the Estonian transfer from Arizona to North Carolina, 7-footer, stopped by our booth earlier today here at ACC Tipoff, and you'll hear his thoughts next.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No. I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/autoloans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Move your sports day forward.
Oh, just when you had one foot into the lifeboat, the Carolina Panthers lured you back to the rocks like a siren in a rough sea with their comeback win. But the question still begs, just like the last home game, are the Panthers prepared to run it back, or will they waste another memory of a victory formation? We know Rico can run, but can the rest of the team?
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Don't miss Bailey's Fall Antique and Vintage Jewelry Show October 7th through 11th. Search through hundreds of vintage necklaces, rings, bracelets, earrings, and more to discover your unique jewelry treasure. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry on October 7th in Rocky Mount, October 8th in Greenville, October 9th in Cary, or October 10th and 11th in Raleigh's Village District to find your perfect piece of jewelry history. Visit BaileyBox.com for details.
This party's getting crazy!
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs!
Okay! Now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Back here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte, joined now by Henri Veesar. Am I saying that right?
Almost. Veesar.
Almost? All right, say it one more time.
Veesar.
Veesar. Henri Veesar, North Carolina Tar Heels, new big man transfer from Arizona. Henri, I have to ask, what did Caleb Love say about North Carolina that obviously made it a place you wanted to go? One of your teammates at Arizona who started his career with the Tar Heels.
Yeah, we're great friends, and I just kind of knew that him and I also had Coach Rob there. So I had a lot of people to ask about North Carolina and how the program really is, because I know in the recruiting process, the coaches or the teams are normally going to tell you what you want to hear rather than what's actually going to happen. So I think that was one of the big things when I talked to Caleb. He really said that the coach are going to care about you and just be there, and what you hear is going to be what you do. Because I feel like Coach Davies also said, like, hey, these are the things I want you to do, but you're going to earn it. So kind of just having that part from him, like, it felt reinforced, kind of like where he wants me to do it, but I also got to show him that I can do it. Because, like, a lot of times I think players can get caught up on, like, oh, I deserve this. I'm supposed to have this. But like, coaches have a job to do, and they have to win games. Like, you got to show that you can do it as well.
So what things do you have to prove that you can do? What is the role they're looking for you to play in order to earn the accolades and everything that you want? Take
care of the basketball and make the simple plays that they need to be done for the team to win games. As long as the team wins the games, everything else is going to come easy.
I can vouch for this. We're talking with Henri Veesar, North Carolina Tar Heels' new big man. I can vouch for this. When you committed out of the transfer portal, fans were very excited. They saw your height. They saw your shot blocking ability, something that some believed the team last year was missing. So knowing that, who's giving you the best battles in practice, maybe at the rim? Like when you're going up to block a shot, which drivers are the ones that you're having the best battles with?
I would say that guy right there, Seth Trimble,
Okay.
and then Caleb Wilson, obviously, both are great athletes and kind of have to definitely take a little step forward. Can't stay underneath the rim with them. So,
Caleb Wilson, we talked with Seth. He's excited about Caleb as well. As a young guy, obviously super heralded in the recruiting world. What has he shown you thus far?
He's actually shown a lot of maturity. Like, he will obviously throw in a couple shots that aren't the best, but he's also a really good passer that I did not expect when I saw him for the first time play. So kind of seeing him, like, I remember there was one practice at the start where he catches the ball, gets the rebound, pushes the ball, and throws it over the top to me, and I'm like, is that a guard or is that like a big guy? I was like, if he can make those plays, and we just had a scrimmage too, and he took like, we had the blue and white scrimmage, obviously, and he took like 2 middies, and I was like, nah, that's a bad shot. You can't take those. And after that, he started going at the rim, and he played amazing. And just seeing how he can flip the switch and like just listen, because his ability to listen is really good.
Are you comfortable taking that? Like that's a direct kind of leadership correction on the floor as one of the older guys. Do you see that as your role?
I don't know if it's everybody's role. Kind of like if I'm taking bad shots, I expect every single one of my teammates to say, hey, it's a bad shot. We don't need that. So it's like there's obviously a time and place. Like Caleb is a great mid-range shooter, and he's going to make them. And I believe that whenever he gets the open ones or the shot clock goes down, gets the last 10 seconds, like we want him to shoot that shot because it's going to be probably the best shot we can get in the last 10 seconds. I don't think it's the best shot we can get in the first 10. So it's like I think he has that maturity too, and he's gotten a lot better over the summer just looking for the right shots and playing through the team. And he's such a good driver that he has a great mid-range, but when he drives, he can put so much foul pressure on the defense that I think he can make himself be so much better. And, like, I think he knows that, and we had talked about it too. Like, I told him too, like, we need him for this team to be great. And just having him, like, kind of listen to everybody else. And he's such a great guy. So he's not going to take it personal or anything. And he knows we want him to be the best version of himself.
We talked with Seth Trimble a few moments ago, and I had him give, like, a quick one-sentence scouting report on all the new guys so we could get to know you a little bit. And the word that first jumped out of his mind or his mouth when I brought up you was unicorn. How do you feel about the term unicorn as a 7-footer that can shoot? Like, is it overused? Like, there's a lot of unicorns. It's obviously a compliment. How do you feel when you hear Seth said that?
It feels great to have him have that confidence in me, but I definitely think there's a lot of people who go underneath it. I don't think unicorn is one is one of them. I think there's definitely more than one person who can do what I can do, where it's like shoot and be as tall as I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of like seeing great to see what he said about me, but I think there's more people than one who can do it.
Henri Veesar of North Carolina joining us here at ACC Tipoff. Do you expect to be maybe a more volume three-point shooter as somebody who shot, especially in conference play last year, very good percentage, but averaged out to only a little over 1 attempt per game?
Yeah, I think that this year I'll definitely shoot it more. I think I have a little bit more of the freedom, and I have the coaches telling me to shoot it. So I think I can definitely find at least 2 to 3 a game kind of to shoot it, and making a couple of them, I'll shoot more. But just being smart with it, there's like no reason to just rely on that, because I kind of I think everybody has the maturity to realize that there's always the best shot. You can always, if there's 15 more seconds left, if there's 20 more seconds left, like it's different scenarios. If like 5 seconds left, 10 seconds left, you definitely have to shoot it, because that's probably the best shot you're going to get. But with 20, 25 seconds to get, when you get it on top of the key in the first transition, like that's a great shot, because it's an easy shot. You're in the momentum, but sometimes like there's no full pressure with it, and just seeing the longer aspect, it depends how the position before it went. So just kind of reading the game. And I think last year I played like on average 20 minutes a game, and if I can get up that a little bit, I could probably get 1 or 2 more off, and that's going to help a lot with the volume.
So if there's this idea of a unicorn, and they're the one of ones, and trying to separate yourself from other guys that are your size, to get to know your game a little bit more, give us 2 or 3 guys who you model your game after, somebody that you study and want to try to emulate.
I'll say Karl-Anthony Towns, Sabonis, and Jokic, because I feel like they're all really good players. Karl-Anthony Towns has been my favorite player for the past I don't know how many years, and just seeing the way he played already in Kentucky as well, and then when he got the league, just being able to stretch the floor and drive the ball that way that he does, and just then like Jokic, the passing he does, the patience he has with the ball, and same with Sabonis. Like they're both very good at reading the game, and like just having the relentless energy the way they play, and like kind of seeing the big man floater the way that Jokic does it, and like I think it's a great shot, and even Sabonis has the like little short floater too, and I think I love that shot as well, because I think it's a great shot in the short roll. And there's like a low man on the defender on the short roll, like you always can't get to the rim all the way, so you can just take the easy shot.
This team, right, with the new guys, the freshmen, the transfers, guys like Seth that are hanging around, you all come from kind of unique backgrounds. So Real Madrid Academy, Estonian national team, how did those experiences kind of shape the player that you are?
I feel like it's just our life stories, kind of the way we do it. Like obviously being in Madrid shaped the way I played. Like at 15, having to put in the work that we did, like 4 or 5 hours every day, it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing the value of working hard and kind of seeing whatever you do, and having those amazing talents around you already when you're at that level, when you're 15, 16 years old, where like most of them have been drafted already or being there, and maybe having to just make the better decisions and like, move the ball, because like there's not one guy who has the ISO every time. You more have that everybody can move the ball and look for the best shot, really.
Last one, and we're going to make it quick. So I was doing research for this conversation, and it looked like there was an Instagram link on your Arizona bio. I couldn't find you on Instagram. Did you delete it? And
It's been gone.
And if so, why?
At the start of the year last year, I felt like I was really a little bit anxious. I didn't have I couldn't really stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
I only had like a little, I would say like 5 seconds I could listen, or like if the coaches or teachers were talking in class or in practice, I would be able to focus for like 5-6 seconds, and then I'll zoom off, and then I kind of realized like I gotta stop doing this, and then I deleted it, and I felt like more at peace with myself. I paid attention way better. I was more calm as a person, and just after that, I deleted the app as well, because first I deleted just the app, and then I deleted my whole account, so there's nothing to go back to, and I started playing way better, and I just kept it going, because I'm a little bit superstitious with that stuff too.
All right, Henri, we appreciate the time. Good luck this season.
Of course. Thank you.
Once again, Henri Veesar. I'm going to work on pronouncing that. I'll have it ready by game time for UNC. And live from here at ACC Tipoff, we will be bringing you today's show. But first, Dennis has something for you.
I do. Real quick, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are you maybe trapped in a high-rate mortgage, just watching all your hard-earned money vanish away every single month? Well, stop. Right now, Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close it as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto for your free, no-obligation quote. Imagine this, lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Coming up next, we expect Jeff Capel, former Duke guard and current Pitt basketball head coach. Stick around.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
And the redshirt freshman, Kalen, direct snap, Taylor, touchdown! Virginia wins it in overtime for the second week in a row.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Here on 99.9 The Fan. sitting down just as we come out of break. Jeff Capel, Pitt men's basketball head coach, also former Duke guard from our neck of the woods back in the mid-'90s. Coach, first of all, ACC Media Day, another one. Just start with kind of the optimism, the vibes. How excited are you that basketball season's getting started?
Yeah, really excited. You know, we're in the midst now of starting practice and a few weeks in and anxious to play against someone else and to finally see someone else. But our team is working really, really hard. And guys have great attitudes. We're trying to get better, and we look forward to just trying to enjoy the journey.
Quite a bit of turnover on the roster. Certain guys in the transfer portal, certain guys ending their eligibility. When it comes to building around maybe incoming transfers and new players and replacing, production like Jalen Lowe, how important is this time of year, and how is kind of the chemistry building going?
Yeah, it's really important. It started in the summer. We have majority of our team there. Second session of summer school. We had everyone there except for one guy. And so it starts then. Obviously, having everyone once school starts. To me, how you get better is that you do hard things together. And that's what we've tried to do. And the thing that I've been encouraged by is that these guys haven't complained. They've shown up every day with the mindset of work, trying to get better, trying to push each other. And it's been a really, really cool thing to watch.
What kind of hard things? Are we just talking conditioning runs?
Conditioning on the court, the practices, the level of competition that they play at, the level of physicality that they play with, how they push each other, how they encourage each other, how they hold each other accountable. I mean, it's been really, really a cool thing to see.
We're talking with Jeff Capel, Pitt head men's basketball coach here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte. I'm curious. Your reputation as a recruiter goes back years and years, right? And kind of legendary status. I'll give that to you. But a lot of it is right in this transition, maybe pre-transfer portal or pre-NIL. Outside of adding the dollars and cents conversation, how has it changed? Are you pitching different things, or are you appealing differently to players now than you did maybe 10 years ago?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the place where I am now is very different from where I was 10 years ago. I mean, no.
It's coming up on that at Pitt.
Yeah,
You've been there a good amount.
But no disrespect to anyone. When I was there, it was easy to recruit to Duke. I mean, we had Coach K. You know what I mean? And then John has been able to kind of take that. And so when you're at a place like Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, now probably UConn, like it's a little bit easier to recruit to those places. I'm not saying those guys aren't good, and I'm not saying I did a good job when I was at Duke, but I was at Duke. It's a lot different when I walked into a room or a gym with a big D as Duke on my chest than I walk in with Pitt. That's just the reality, and you have to adjust to that. The transfer portal, and not necessarily the transfer portal, but NIL kind of can help even it a little bit if you have the means to even it. And so that's the thing. I mean, it's very different now than it was 10 years ago, than it was 5 years ago, than it was a year ago. Because now, as this thing goes on, parents and kids know more. And so they're not as naive to recruiting and to the money aspect as maybe they were 2 years ago.
What was it? Is it less messy now with
No.
that? No, is it more messy now?
It's always going to be messy. I mean, we've operated in a world, even before NIL was legal, it was messy. Since they've legalized it, it's just a different type of messy, but it's still very messy.
We're talking with Jeff Capel, Pitt head men's basketball coach. I have this down 2 years ago. I asked you about your roster and were there any secrets? And I think I called him Carlton. But Bub Carrington was a guy that you were like, I've got this freshman. You guys are going to want to pay attention to him. By the end of the year, he's a lottery pick, averaging double figures in the NBA now. So I'll ask the same question. You have any secrets? Any hidden gems?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple. I mean, I think we have two freshmen that I really like that I think really have a chance to have an impact on our team. One is a kid from Australia, Roman Salipa, who's about 6'7".
I was going to write that down, but I'll look it up on the roster.
He was the number one guy in his age group in Australia, but also the number one rugby player in the country. So there's a level of physicality and toughness that he has just right away. And then there's another kid from the D.C. area named Omari Witherspoon that's been really, really impressive as a freshman and will have an opportunity, I think, to have an impact.
Now I have to ask: do you coach the rugby out of them, or do you tame the
Heck
rugby?
no.
Like, how do you?
It's,
we're used to maybe American football, basketball players. We used to say the hitting drills made basketball players. So the rugby drills probably make football players.
Man,
That's another level of tough.
I don't want to tame it. I want controlled aggression and just teaching them how to harness it. But he's been really impressive. He's been with us for about a month now. We knew he was coming for a while, but with the visa stuff getting in the country now, it's a little bit more difficult. So he's been there for about a month, and how much better he's gotten in a month as a basketball player. But the level of physicality and the toughness that he plays with is really impressive.
I want to ask you a few kind of bigger picture questions. You're one of the few that have seen our sport, college basketball, from every angle: player, big school, small school. You brought up like the blue bloods. Now you're a head coach for a long time now. There was a time when 2 games over 500 and like the 9th best record in the ACC, that got you right on the bubble, at least into the NCAA tournament. That's what you guys put on last year, and you really weren't part of that conversation. How does the league get back to where if you're an above 500 team and in that mix in the ACC, you're at least, first 4 out, right? Like, we're at least in that mix.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think what we have to own what happened. We did not take care of stuff in the non-conference last season, just as a league. If you look at the ACC, SEC challenge, it was a bloodbath. We have to be better in the non-conference collectively, every one of us. My first 4 years, we really contributed to the lack of non-conference because we didn't do a good job. The last 3 years, we did a pretty good job. Like last year, we did a pretty good job in non-conference. But collectively, all of us have to do a better job there. So I think that's the main thing. You look at these other leagues, they may have a team that's 2 games under 500 in the league, but they're still getting in. Hopefully we can take care of our business in non-conference and get back to that.
Last one for you. What's the right number for the NCAA tournament? Because we're getting into 76 or some. There's some proposals out there that are getting larger than I would like.
Yeah, well, I'm all for 76.
Okay.
I mean, I think if you take a look at the history of the NCAA tournament, I think it started at 16 to 32, 32 to 48. I'm pretty sure people didn't want to expand it, thought it would ruin it. 48 to 64, 64 to 68. Every year it's gotten better. I just don't see any way. I've lived through people thought that when you allow kids to go straight from high school to the NBA, that it was going to ruin college basketball. It didn't. When you made them go to college, but they had to be there for at least a year, they thought one and done was going to ruin college. It didn't. Nothing will ruin the NCAA tournament. In fact, I think if you have more teams, it's a win-win all the way around. It doesn't cheapen it. It makes it more exciting. It gives young people more opportunity. If you look at the college football stuff, started with no playoff, it's tripled, and it's gotten better. I don't think they're done. And so I just think for us, the more teams you can get in, it gives more opportunity for young people to experience the greatest sporting event maybe that there is, March Madness.
I just think the font on one sheet of paper, it's going to get really small for me to read.
That's why you got to get the magnifying glasses, man.
Coach, we appreciate you for taking the time.
Appreciate you guys.
Good luck this season.
Okay, thank you.
Once again, that is Jeff Capel, Pitt head basketball coach. And as we referenced throughout that conversation, many of you remember him from his time as a Duke starting guard for the better part of the mid-'90s. Won a whole bunch of games for Duke out there and accumulated a whole bunch of stats. Jeff Capel. And I really do. Obviously the teams in the Triangle, we have an opportunity to hang out with quite a bit during the year. Jeff, we kind of only get to see when he's in town as a road team or here, and I just really enjoy hearing his take on college basketball as a whole. and he's even when I disagree with him, like I just said, right? I think 76 is a little much. He brings the big picture view in a good way. Oh, here we go. And speaking of the Pitt Panthers, we have Brandon Cummings joining us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, and his teammate sitting down right next to him. We have Cameron. I'll ask you, Brandon. Corin. All right, we got it right there. We have Cameron Corin and Brandon Cummings from Pitt sitting down here at ACC Tipoff. Cameron's chair is a little caught up on something.
What's on that cord right there?
We don't want to unplug anything. They didn't know they were going to be reorganizing furniture when they sat down with us here on 99.9. All right, fellas. First of all, thank you for the time. Thank you for stopping by.
Yep.
We'll start with this. We were just talking to your coach about it. A lot of new faces, a lot of guys exiting the program, transfer portal, eligibility being finished, whatever it is. How difficult is it to be maybe at this time of year get on the same page and get ready for when the basketball gets tipped off?
I mean, it's difficult, but it's something that I feel like a lot of teams in the country have to deal with. Like it's a new era of college basketball, so this is something that people have to adapt to. But I feel like for us specifically, we have a lot of similar guys on the team. I think Capel did an amazing job recruiting, getting a whole bunch of guys who have chips on their shoulder, a whole bunch of guys who feel like they were overlooked. And I feel like we all have that in common, so it makes it a little easier for us to mesh together.
I want to ask, we were just talking with your coach, I want to ask about Roman. Apparently he was like the #1 basketball guy in Australia and #1 rugby. That physicality, is it translating? Are you like, is it different, noticeable? What's it like bringing the rugby guy into the basketball team?
You can tell he played rugby for sure. Like, he's just so physically dominant. It's crazy, and he's still so young.
Do you give advice on like how do you, as leaders of the team, obviously you're here, you're chosen by your coach to represent the squad. What's the message for somebody that maybe brings a little aggressiveness?
You just got to let him be himself. You want to make sure he keeps that aggressiveness. Like, let him play through his mistakes. Tell him not keep making those mistakes, but keep being aggressive, keep being who you are.
We're talking with Cameron Corin as well as Brandon Cummings, Pitt basketball players. Corin being the big man, the senior forward. I want to ask you, Cameron. You were a part of a Florida State team a couple years ago. Talk about the transfer portal, where there was a lot of drama around NIL and everything else. Having seen it from a bunch of different angles, is the NCAA or is college basketball as a whole kind of getting that stuff under control where it was the Wild Wild West 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, I feel like it's much more under control now. As when I had that situation at Florida State, it was all so new. Everybody was like it was just so new. There was no rules. People were doing things they probably shouldn't have been, promising things they probably shouldn't have been. But now I feel like the NCAA did a great job of getting it under control.
Now a more fun question for you. I saw you played for Sunrise in Wichita, as well as John Paul II in Texas, which are two pretty powerhouse programs.
Right.
And I'm assuming some AAU basketball mixed in there. You played for Florida State. You played for Pitt. So what I'm doing is I'm starting a starting five. Brandon's one of them. You're one of them. I need 3 players you've played with from any point in your career to round out the starting five. Who are you throwing in the starting five?
Let's go Grady Dick at the 2.
Okay, you played with him in Sunrise in Wichita, Kansas.
Right. Jalen Tyson, he plays with the Cleveland Cavaliers now.
And where'd you play with him?
John Paul.
Okay.
And then at the 4, I'll probably go. That's a tough one. Probably Mark Mitchell. He plays at Mizzou. He went to Duke, now he's at Mizzou.
That's strong 4. Or strong 5, excuse me. Brandon, could you beat it?
Sorry?
Could you beat it with your teammates from somewhere along the way?
Malik, who else?
Man, yeah, it would be me at the 1, my dog Malik Thomas at Arkansas at the 2.
You can pick some current teammates too. I'm putting you on the spot here.
Okay. Man, give me my guy ZA at the 3.
Okay.
Zach Austin at the 3.
I got a smile out of your teammate right there.
And I'm gonna put Cam at the 4.
There you go.
And let me think.
Anybody? And I'm gonna ask a question about this. Anybody from your Lincoln Park Performer Arts High School?
Yeah. Me and Malik played together at Lincoln Park,
there you go.
That's him. And give me my My guy Dante Green, he played with me at Lincoln Park. I'm gonna put him at the 4 and put Cam at the 5.
What's it like going to a performer arts high school?
It's different. It's very different. But
did you have to like perform? Were you like an actor?
I wasn't, but there was people that I knew that were on my team that like were singers and had to like sing at concerts and stuff like that. So you meet a whole bunch of new people and different people, and it's a fun experience.
Acting classes help you. I don't know, like sell fouls. Like, are you a better flopper because of like stage combat? Like, I'm looking for basketball connections here.
I mean, everything that you would think, that's what it is. Better everything.
All right. Your brother, I saw, played for Pitt, played for Coach Capel. What did he tell you about playing for Coach Capel when you were going through the recruiting process? And now that you've been here for over a year, did it come true?
I mean, he told me everything about Cape. Like, Cape's a great guy, and I mean, once you get on his good side, like, he's gonna let you be yourself. Once you get on the court, he's a coach that trusted in his players a lot, and he did that with Nelly, and Nelly told me that. And now that I'm on the team and I'm experiencing that, like, yeah, that is true. That's exactly who Cape is for sure.
When you get on his good side.
Right.
Have you been on the opposite side?
I haven't been on the opposite side, but
you've seen it?
I've seen it before.
How do you get on Coach Capel's good side?
Just be a good person.
Okay.
Be a great person. Be energetic. Be a good teammate. And I mean, it's not hard. It takes a lot to get on his bad side.
What is Coach Capel like as a recruiter? I'm fascinated by it because if you look at his recruiting history, there's some dudes on there. What is he like when he's trying to convince you to join his program?
I just feel like he's somebody who he looks for guys that have that chip on their shoulder. Like he searches for those guys who are maybe ranked lower than what they should have been in their class. And you know, he's a straight up guy. He'll tell you straight up, like, listen, like I know you're under recruited, but I think you can really fit on this team. And you know, he's gotten a lot of great players that way.
Cameron, as one of the older guys, what do you tell the younger guys about playing in the ACC? At an event like this, the ACC Tipoff, you played for Florida State, you played for Pitt, you've been in every away arena and everything else. How is the ACC maybe different than the rest of college basketball?
It's a grind, man. There's no off games. Like I feel like in conferences you have kind of games you can write off as it's just going to be a win, but in the ACC, you don't have those. So you just got to compete every game.
That's a great way to put it. And we'll go last one for you guys.
Okay.
And it'll be towards you, Brandon. First of all, sophomore, 6 points a game last year, being chosen to come here. It's a vote of confidence by your coaches and your teammates. 2 different streaks. I was looking at your stats of 3 straight games, double-digit scoring last season, but just 9 total games of double-digit scoring the entire season. So 6 of them came in those 2 streaks. I guess what got into you during those streaks, and how do you make it more consistent?
I mean, I feel like, you know, some guys were down, and I feel like that's what was required of me, you know, during those stretches. So, I mean, once I get the opportunity, I go out there and I'm going to be the fullest version of myself. So, this year, obviously, I'm going to have more of an opportunity, so you're going to see a lot similar numbers.
All right, Brandon and Cameron, we appreciate you guys, and good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Once again, a couple of Pitt players. I'll give you more of their background. Brandon Cummings, who you just heard answering about the scoring question, sophomore guard. Cameron Corrin is the senior forward and a player who started his career at Florida State. And I recognize I didn't give a ton of background during that question because I didn't want to use up too much time. Cameron was a part of that Florida State team. He was not one of the players, but he was on the Florida State team where a handful of them ended up suing the coach over what was suggested as unpaid NIL payments, and it became a big deal and led to quite a few guys entering the transfer portal. He was kind of part of that exodus, ended up at Pitt, and as you heard him say, it's a little less wild westy now in the NIL world. But I did love the way he described the ACC.
Yeah.
No days off, essentially, is what he settled on for the ACC.
No, not at all.
And I'm going to pair kind of, meaning like build off of each other. One answer from the coach, Jeff Capel, and that answer from Cameron Corrin. When it comes to getting the ACC more entries into the NCAA tournament, which, by the way, here at ACC Kickoff is one of the conversations that you hear happening all over the place. Jim Phillips referenced it, the ACC commissioner, in his comments, kind of his state of the ACC press conference, which is just like last year wasn't good enough. And they need, meaning the ACC, needs to find a way to get more teams into the NCAA tournament. And which I agree with, and that's why that's a big part of the decision why they limited their conference games down to 18, and a big part of the reason why they're allowing the teams to go be more aggressive in their non-conference and everything else. I also want to implore the rest of the world to recognize what the ACC is and deals with. And what I mean by that is we talk with Jeff Capel and we say, hey, how does the ACC get back to where it is? And he goes right to we got to take advantage of the non-conference. We got to take care of business in the non-conference. And he's not saying we as in Pitt. He's saying we as in the ACC. Regardless of what happens in the non-conference, the ACC schedule is tough, and it needs to be seen as much nationally.
Yeah.
Where if you go to Syracuse and then you're to Boston College and then you're home against Duke and then you're to Florida State and then you're home against State and then you got Louisville coming up in a day or two, like if you lose a handful of those games, there has to be some acknowledgement that there's only a handful of teams in the country that wouldn't lose a handful of those games.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because Jim Phillips even mentioned today, say, hey, it's also not a coincidence that our teams, when they get in the NCAA tournament, are successful.
Yes.
Like he specifically brought up, we've had 3 different schools from the ACC win national championships in the last 10 years. And we've had 5 schools, or 5 teams.
4 different schools, 5 total appearances in the Final Four, and not even the last 10 years.
It's like last 5 years, if that. So it's the success of the teams once they get into the tournament is noticeable. Now, this past year is down, and Capel even brought it up. He's like, look, we can't get shellacked in the ACC SEC Challenge, which is true. And I think you can hear from Capel. I'm curious what other coaches think. If he almost feels like there's a responsibility by ACC coaches to schedule in a way that when we actually get to conference that it elevates everyone else, because that's what the SEC and the Big 12 have done for each other in the non-conference. So when they're playing each other, their net ratings all keep each other afloat. But that's kind of what we're seeing. But the different styles that you see in ACC basketball, like the Pitt guys were talking about, you can play a slow, grinding game. You want to get up and down the floor and run. ACC schools are prepared for that.
I've said that for a while now, where the SEC has the stereotype of run and gun. Alabama's taking 5,000 threes a game.
Yeah.
And that's the way they play. Big Ten, every team has like 6-7 footers. I don't know how they do it. They're all broad-shouldered and tough, and that's the Big Ten. And then the ACC can do both. That's always the way I've looked at those three conferences.
We have rugby players now.
We have rugby players. Every 7-footer is described as a unicorn. Like these conversations just show how versatile the ACC is. One last thing on the scheduling, and I thought this was interesting again during the Jim Phillips deal, and it builds off of what you're saying with the camaraderie. One of the questions was about limiting the in-conference schedule to 18 games, which did do away with certain rivalry games. And UNC and State, our example would be UNC and State aren't playing twice a year every year now. They're playing once this year, which means State doesn't have to go to the Dean Dome. That's a bummer, right?
Yeah.
And he was asked, what went into this decision? And it did sound like there's some conglomerate of coaches. And he singled out Forbes, the head coach of Wake Forest, as kind of a leader of whatever room that was, that they brought the coaches into those conversations. And I just like the idea of like a Zoom call with all or most of the head coaches there. And there is kind of a like, hey, we don't tell anyone else this, but we root for each other. And you have to be good so I can be good, right? Or I have to be good so you can be good. And none of us are going to be great unless most of us are good. So let's figure out what's best for the ACC before we put ourselves in too deep of a hole.
I know Steve Forbes has talked about it during the season last year a few times about how it's difficult for him in conference to have quad 1 games at home. It just is. So it's a difficult thing, but if you're able to have those games where you have quad 1, quad 2 games at home, that's a big deal. And we don't see that enough, unfortunately, in the ACC.
So in a weird way, for a team, like I brought up to Coach Capel, for a team to be 2 games over 500, 9th best record in the ACC, to be considered a bubble team, the 8 teams above them have to be seen as really, really gosh darn good. And it's all narrative, but there's also some execution to it, and it sounds like that's a priority for the ACC. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Actually, I ran into a friend of mine that's in the media that's actually here where we are in Charlotte today, and she said to me, she goes, Dennis, how much weight have you lost? Because I've seen it. How much weight have you lost? I said it's 40 pounds. 40 pounds in basically 10 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, approaching 2.5 months with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And the thing that I appreciate about it is that I'm actually soon going to be entering what they call the maintenance phase. So it's not just the fact that I'm losing all the weight. They want to help you maintain that weight as well. I also appreciate the fact that there's no shots, no injections, so none of the side effects, any of those kinds of things. Not doing any HGH, no steroids. It's just my body and your body, if you get involved in the program, resetting and restarting its metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. And I will say this, my clothes fit better. I got to go buy a new belt, by the way. It's hard to keep my pants up now, but I got to go buy a new belt. But that's a good thing. I'd much rather have that than trying to have to go buy another one because things aren't fitting well the opposite way. I'm sleeping better at night. My fiance says I don't snore anymore. It's so much about my health has improved with the weight that I've lost thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And if you have questions or concerns or want to know more about the program, set up a free 15-minute call, a free consultation, a free 15-minute phone call by visiting RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or just give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Again, a free 15-minute phone call. Ask all the questions and concerns that you have and let them answer those things for you. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan gets to the starting five next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is your year if you're Buffalo. This is your year. The competition in the AFC in terms of number of great teams is less than it feels like it's been. You have to take advantage of it.
I'm looking around the landscape of the AFC, and every single team has major questions with the exception of the Buffalo Bills.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Just a small chance of a stray sprinkle this evening and tonight. Otherwise, we expect increasing clouds, mild temperatures only dipping into the upper 60s. Wednesday, it's mostly cloudy with highs in the upper 70s. Scattered showers and storms could move in by late morning through the early afternoon.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcomb&company.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones down 91 points to 46,602.
5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is 5 o'clock, and even though we're on the road, 5 o'clock means time for the starting 5. So let's jump into it, getting to number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
ACC Tipoff here in Charlotte.
Let's go. Going to work on him.
ACC basketball
into the paint,
Tipoff
backs him
here
down,
in
knocked
Charlotte.
loose. Cooper got it back, put it up.
We're playing a clip? All right, we're not playing a clip. Just want to double check there. It's actually, you don't realize, and I've had this conversation with people at events like this in the past, how visual cues trigger you into where you need to be for a season.
Yeah.
Just seeing the players walk around in jerseys, right? The ones that are just wearing their basketball jerseys. There's a Stanford player right to my right wearing his jersey. And you're just like, oh, yeah, you know what? I kind of have a weird urge to wipe the dust off the bottom of my sneakers. It's time to play basketball.
Yeah.
Right? I'm getting ready to check in at the scorer's table. ACC Tipoff. It's not quite basketball season yet, but it's close enough that coaches and players have a good feel for their team. They have a good feel for the chemistry being built. And as we talk to different teams, we talked with North Carolina earlier today. Just moments ago, we talked with Pitt, coaches and players. You can see it. You can feel it as we talk about, right? That aura thing. Which players, which coaches are hopeful and which are pretty darn confident right now. I got the vibe from Carolina that they're pretty confident. We'll see if it's warranted. But Henri Veesar, I'm going to work on it, and Seth Trimble both carried themselves like they know something we don't.
Yeah.
Right? And with a team with so many new, it is possible, right? When somebody like Kyan Evans joins the team from Colorado State, when somebody like Veesar joins from Arizona, where he was maybe not featured as much as he possibly could be, you have freshmen like Caleb Wilson. There is a world. This is crazy to think of because it's Carolina, and spotlights and magnifying glasses hit programs like Carolina. They might know something about their team that we don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Which doesn't happen very often in sports anymore, but in college basketball, because there's so much roster movement, it's possible.
I know we'll replay the conversation with Seth Trimble here at 5:30, so I know people are going to hear these answers, but it was interesting when you asked him about, hey, give me a one-sentence or one-word description of some of these guys, and he said Caleb Williams, and Caleb Wilson, and he kind of perked up. He just goes, dog.
Yep.
Dog. It's there's a lot of hype around that guy coming into this upcoming season. He was one of the highest rated recruits in the entire country. And a couple of people I talked to that were at the blue-white scrimmage this past Saturday were like, yeah, he has all the physical tools. It's just, he just has to polish it. That's really it.
And part of that was me having Seth Trimble do my job for me later in the year, right?
Sure.
So now I know, hey, when somebody has a big game, Seth Trimble said this about him during the but also to build off that, Veesar, the shot blocker, I said, hey, fans are hoping 7-footer blocked over a shot a game at Arizona. They're hoping you're a rim protector here, who in practice is giving you the most trouble at the rim. And he said Seth Trimble, which we know, right? He's a guy that attacks the rim. He's a dunker. He understands when the room needs that energy. He can go, a tomahawk dunk will do that. And then same kind of smile on his face, and he said Caleb Wilson. I'm looking very much forward to what the 5-star freshman can bring to Carolina.
Yeah.
And I don't say this disrespecting to Drake Powell last year at all, but maybe in a slightly more polished Drake Powell kind of way, where their athleticism jumps off the screen and it just becomes what else you can do with it. Drake Powell, first-round pick, again, not disrespecting him at all.
No.
But his raw athleticism sometimes was just that. He was jumping higher than everybody else, and that's how he had success. I think Caleb Wilson could be jumping higher than everybody else and maybe also a little bit more basketball polished.
Bigger body guy, too.
True.
Yeah.
True, much bigger. Although plays out there on the wing. Well, actually, that's the other thing. We're just talking UNC now.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by how Hubert Davis uses this roster. Because going back to the Seth Trimble one sentences.
For sure.
Jaren Stevenson, 6'10", 6'11" guy. Give me the one sentence. He says, floor spacer. First thing he says is floor spacer.
Yeah, he's a stretch 4.
And then Veesar, he goes, unicorn, can shoot it. And I'm like, okay, well, now you have whatever that 14 feet of shooters
Yeah.
potentially on the floor, and that creates space. But also, it's interesting when those guys can drift away from the bucket, the different combinations of lineup they can play.
Yeah, and even Hubert talked about it. We'll replay that conversation later as well. But Hubert talked about he loves the versatility of his lineup. I mean, the fact that if you got 7-footers, hey, if you guys want to go down big in the post, you can. But if you want to play 5 out, go for it.
And it just makes more room for guys like Seth Trimble, Kyan Evans, to get to the bucket. And by the way, for those of you wondering about your favorite team, if it's not one of the teams we just referenced, we will be talking with John Shire, Malik Brown tomorrow from Duke. We'll be talking with a couple of players, Mason and Spillers from Wake, and the entirety of the NC State ACC Tipoff crew. Will Wade, head coach, Ben Allen Lubin, one of their forwards, and Darian Williams, a couple of their high-profile transfers will both be here. We'll talk to all of them. So tune into the show tomorrow for all of those interviews. And as Dennis said, you can hear Seth Trimble and Hubert Davis coming up within the next hour or so.
Also on our YouTube page, is already up there. Max Gorn back in the studio already has it up.
Look at that. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All together.
Puck still loose. Hall wanting to center it. And a loose puck. It was deflected away. Now Nashville will give it away. Marchessault. Oh, out in front. Oh, Jarvis, he scores! Oh, a clinic out in front as Seth Jarvis forehand, backhand, buries it, and we're tied at 2.
The NHL season for the Carolina Hurricanes starts on Thursday. That's what we really care about when they host the New Jersey Devils to start off their season. But the NHL season in general started 8 minutes ago. Did puck drop in the Chicago at Florida Panthers game?
Well, I know they're hanging the banner for back-to-back cups, so they're there in Florida. But of course, the NHL can't do anything right when it comes to actually promoting their sport. And let's have a 5 o'clock puck drop to celebrate the season. The start of it. Yeah, let's go 5 o'clock. Well, I don't know. There are people that are leaving the hotel that we're in because they're going home from work.
Yeah, we can have conversations about certain NHL decisions later. But today it's opening day. I don't want to get negative. There's Chicago at Florida, Pittsburgh at New York, meaning the Rangers, and then Colorado at the Kings tonight on the late night tip.
That should be a fun game, by the way.
10:30 p.m. if you want to stay up for it. I have one question, Canes, related to the slate of games today.
All right.
If you're a Carolina Hurricane, do you make yourself almost like there's famous pictures of guys like when they're on the losing Super Bowl team, before they walk into the tunnel, they turn around and make themselves watch the confetti fall for 3 or 4 minutes as motivation? Do you turn on the banner raising in Florida and just sit on the couch and get angry and ready for Thursday and build up that kind of edge?
Maybe.
Because I'll tell you right now, you're going to hear me say it all year because I say it every year for the Carolina Hurricanes. I think they could use some more edge. I think they could use a little bit more anger. I want angry Aho. I want angry Jarvis. I want the traditionally nice guys, which are, I'm glad they're nice guys. I think that's important for human life. But occasionally, I do think I want somebody that's a little bit more of a bleep hole on their skates.
Be a little bit of a jerk out there.
Yeah, hey, there you go. That's the right way to say it. I don't know why I was struggling around there. But my point is, you might want to watch a banner raising, right? You might want to turn it on just to sit there and stew and let yourself know, never again. If we get back there, never again, right? Start pacing. That's what I want to see. Pound like a protein shake and pace. I'm mostly kidding here, right? They're obviously motivated enough, but it is fun that hockey season is actually here.
Honestly, it's really one of the best sports to watch in person, and even on television, it's equally as entertaining. It really is a blast. It's such a great sport. I wish the NHL did better to market itself better, but it really is one of the best sports out there to watch.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. It does feel like the NHL is having some kind of a moment. Even if they don't market themselves as well as they should, I do think the TNT stuff's a little bit better. I think some of the ESPN stuff that maybe is being dragged along is also a bit better. I think there's a good young group of marketable stars.
There are.
And things like Face Off on Amazon. I think there's a moment here for the NHL to maybe grab more real estate in just the general casual sports fans kind of real estate.
They have to capitalize on that. You have to market your young stars, which is something that we've seen baseball struggle with sometimes, but the NHL has struggled with it as well. And I think also is that the NHL needs to also do a better job of marketing its teams outside of its traditional markets and its old original six. Like, why are the Penguins and Rangers playing on opening night at Prime at 8 o'clock? Neither of those franchises made the playoffs last year. The Penguins haven't made the playoffs in the last two. And so, I get that Crosby and stuff's still there. I understand that. But use that opportunity to prop up someone else. Like, to use that opportunity to put Carolina Hurricanes. Like, hey, we just had Face Off on Amazon. We just featured this young guy, Seth Jarvis. Put them on opening night against Pittsburgh or against the Rangers. Let that be the thing. Prop up some of these other markets.
Speaking of the passage of time, I was just telling Dennis this off air, and I just want to pass it along. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang for Pittsburgh. They'll become the first trio of NHL teammates to play 20 seasons together.
That's insane.
20 seasons. That's forever. But it does show the passage of time, and also, like, Crosby's not going to be around forever. So you better build up somebody else to and Ovechkin's not going to be around forever. You better build up somebody to kind of take that crown, if you will. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
One dribble, bounces it to the baseline. Cooper's got it now. Edgecombe there defensively. Going to work on him. Into the paint. Backs him down. Knocked loose. Cooper got it back. Put it up. Counted in a foul. My goodness. What a strong move inside. And Edgecombe picks up his first.
I was going to solve this tomorrow, but I can actually solve it today. So during the countdown to craziness for Duke, kind of their preseason scrimmage, fans involved, they announced Jason Tatum was there as a big surprise, and John Shire, their head coach, said something along the lines of he's going to be helping this year, and nobody knew what that meant. And we're talking with John Shire tomorrow, so I was going to ask. Duke decided to answer the question before we got a chance to ask. Duke announced earlier today, that the 6-time NBA All-Star Jason Tatum would serve in a volunteer advisory role for the program as Chief Basketball Officer. I want to be a part of whatever meeting made them, they came up with Chief Basketball Officer.
Yeah.
It's like...
I didn't see that on LinkedIn.
What does Dave Grohl do? Well, he does Chief Rockstar Officer. Like, it's just basketball. I don't know. It struck me as funny. Either way, in the release, the school did announce that he will, kind of his tasks in this volunteer advisory role include in-person visits with the team to discuss development, professionalism, team culture, and mentoring of athletes in areas such as career management, building a personal brand, or managing team demands as a college athlete. He'll also check in with virtual team meetings or discuss roster construction with the head coach, John Shire. Do you know what I think? First of all, great for them, right? It's a good partnership. You want to stay in touch with your alumni. Duke knows that. The whole brotherhood thing, the Coach K Academy that they bring back every off season where they all get together and coach. Like, they know they want to connect with their famous alumni. What I think it gives you, and I think college coaches, college programs look for this. It's just a different voice you can bring in, right? They're like, as with anybody, the same boss, the same mentor, the same coach. If the same person is saying the same things over and over, or the same person is saying even different things, but in the same manner over and over, it can become white noise. It can become kind of muted, or you can become numb to it. Then all you need is somebody else to kind of say it in a different way, and all of a sudden it sticks. And then somebody like Jason Tatum comes with the built-in credibility of being, bunch of time All-NBA player, bunch of time All-Star, 100 millionaire, and it just gives Duke a chance to be like, all right, I've now, if I'm the coach, I've tried to get them to do X, Y, and Z for the last week. It's not getting through to them. Rather than just bashing my head against the wall and making them run, let me call up Jason Tatum. Let me get him on a Zoom. Let him explain, how to run this particular action or how to communicate this way on defense, and see if that's not what it takes for the light switch to go off, rather than me just, like I said, bashing my head into the wall.
I agree. If the resource is available, use it.
Yeah.
As simple as that. If Jason Tatum's probably not going to be playing at all this season, like you said, rehabbing from the Achilles injury, use that opportunity to, hey, teach these guys how to be professional. Because, I mean, ultimately, that's what you're preparing a lot of these guys to become. I mean, especially these one and done guys. We had several of them last year, or even guys that might be in their second year. Hey, this is what it takes to be a pro.
Here's my advice to Jason Tatum. Not that he needs it, but here's my advice. Name drop.
Yes.
Name drop.
My goodness.
Don't go with, oh, one of my teammates struggled with this too. Here's what they did to get over it. Go with, one of my teammates, Kyrie Irving, struggled with this. Oh, Jaylen Brown, his rookie year, dealt with had a similar hard time with what you're dealing with. Or this is what we used to do to stop LeBron James. Like, name drop, because it gets 19-year-olds' attention. I promise it does.
And wear your ring.
Yeah, exactly.
And wear your ring. For real, wear it.
Half the time when I'm interviewing players, I want to like give them the permission to name drop, because sometimes I think they think it's like talking out of class.
Like, no.
And I'm like, no. Don't just say some receiver. Say Larry Fitzgerald. Like give me the story, because it makes it more interesting. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Handoff on second down. Look at this! Dowdle still on his feet! What an afternoon for Rico Dowdle!
That's Eric Collins on the call for the Carolina Panthers win over the Miami Dolphins last weekend, where Rico Dowdle had the game of his career. Yeah, actually, don't quote me on this, but I saw it on social media, so it's, there's a chance it's true. Was that the 3rd highest rushing total for a Panther?
It was tied with Jonathan Stewart for the second
Okay,
highest.
I wasn't giving him enough credit.
206. So he's tied with Jonathan Stewart, and I think he was 40 yards away from tying D'Angelo Williams at 210, 5 away from breaking it.
Look at that, everybody. Rico Dowdle, heck of a game. Eric Collins, heck of a call.
Also tied for the largest comeback in Panthers history, 17 points.
And they're now like 4-100 after going down by.
Yeah,
I'm not making that up. After going down by 17 points. But that's not the only news in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Although it is big news when the Panthers win, and we enjoy it all week. We don't have the 24-hour celebration rule. We're not in the locker room. We celebrate it until they take on the Cowboys next week. Speaking of the Cowboys,
okay.
Owner David Tepper may have set a precedent that the Cowboys will have to adhere to. Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones is being fined $250K by the NFL for an inadvertent obscene gesture towards fans at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. A source tells ESPN's Adam Schefter.
You throw a drink?
The videos on social media, maybe a quickly flashed middle finger.
To
which, as only Jarrah can do. It was unfortunate. It was inadvertent. I don't know how.
Inadvertent.
Wait, there's a better part of the quote. I have to find it. Give me a second.
How do you have an inadvertent middle finger? Like, you know what? I was trying to clench my fist, and the middle finger decided not to.
Here's what he said. If you want to call it accidental, you can call it accidental. Before it got straightened around pretty quick, I had a chance to look at it. It got straightened out pretty quick, but the intention was thumbs up and basically pointing at our fans because everybody was jumping up and down excited.
How do you accidentally flip someone off?
Hey, $250,000 for that accident.
I need to start polling some people around here.
David Tepper's drink toss was eventually fined $300,000.
Dang. It's only $50,000 left just to accidentally flip the bird.
David Tepper's always getting his money's worth.
For real.
An extra $50K, you get to throw a drink at somebody versus flipping the bird? That's $50K well spent.
Take the drink.
That's $50K well spent. Always been a better business guy than Jerry. Elsewhere in the NFL, Joe Flacco traded from the Browns to the Bengals today.
Yeah, that's wild.
Just confirms. Once he gets there, I'm sure he's going to have to take a week or two to learn the playbook. The Delaware Blue Hens once again have a starting quarterback in the NFL.
You know, I was actually thinking about this because they're in the same division.
It is. I actually continue, but I have a fun fact for you.
Do you think Cleveland is sending him to the Bengals in the sense of like, hey, play better for the fact that you guys won't be drafting at the same time roughly as us. That way it improves our draft position. So take him, or maybe the Bengals saw him play with the Browns and go, actually, we need the better draft position. Let's go get Joe Flacco so we can lose even more, even though Jake Browning's already doing that for you.
The fun fact is, I believe this is the first trade between these two teams since the Browns moved back to Cleveland.
I mean the expansion franchise that came about in the late 90s?
The Tim Couch era Browns.
Let's not forget the Browns are an expansion team.
It's the first trade between those two. There was one previously. I believe A.J. McCarron was going to be traded. They agreed to it, and the Browns didn't file the paperwork quick
That's
enough.
why they didn't file it was like a second and third round pick, and they're like, yeah, the paperwork didn't get filed on time. That's right. Poor Brett Musburger.
So until Joe Flacco, the official paperwork goes through, I think you never know.
Yeah. I did see it announced today.
Yeah, both teams announced it. It's happening. He's a starter in the NFL. Can't do away with Joe Flacco that easily.
That'd be 3 of 4 teams in that division he started.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers will probably bring him in next year. They like really old quarterbacks.
Don't.
They like really old quarterbacks.
Don't.
They got to bring him in for a game. Just let him. just let him complete the Infinity Stones of the North. just have Mike Tomlin tell him it gets hot in the AFC North. And have him go, yeah, I know, I've been all over this oven. It's Joe Flacco is hilarious. And it's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
WRAL and Pat Welter, who actually joined our show earlier today to discuss this exact fact, published an article earlier today. I'm going to read you the headline. Divided locker room, disastrous results. Players, parents, blame Belichick culture for UNC problems. And I can tell you this, you should go check out the article, WRAL.com, sourced and vetted by lawyers and everything else, as Pat told us. There are some very head-turning revelations in this one. For example, I'm just going to read a quick blurb here. According to several sources in this WRAL article, some Belichick recruited transfers have preferential parking for themselves and their parents, as well as more tickets for games. Kamori House and Thaddeus Dixon played for Belichick's son, Steve Belichick, at the University of Washington. Their names came up repeatedly when talking to sources about preferential treatment. Dixon's family had field access on game days, something that no other family is believed to have. So first of all, a lot to break down in this entire article. We're not going to be able to do it all today because we have ACC basketball here at Tipoff to get to. But there is a very, very fine line between college sports being the first time that an athlete recognizes we're not all the same and being a place where everybody has to be given certain base levels of equal perks, right? Because, we were all there. If you've ever played college sports, I remember during training camp, you had to do a skit as freshmen. Mm-hmm. Get up there, embarrass yourselves, then you sing the fight song, and then it's like, all right, you're one of us. And one of the years, one of the freshmen, they did an entire skit. It was like a parody of our locker room. Right, so they had a couple guys as the defensive line, and they're loud and playing music because our defensive line was loud and playing music all the time. They went to the quarterbacks, and they had us all reading encyclopedias, and it was like a parody of everyone. And in the corner of our locker room is where our equipment staff was. There was a little window you could walk up to and say hey, I need to, I ripped my glove yesterday. Can I get a new glove? Or quarterbacks, we were always going up there for hand towels, and you just go up, you ask them, and they give it to you. And one of the bits was they walked up to the equipment room and said, hey, my name is, and they picked a random, fourth wide receiver on the team. Can I get some new cleats? And they said, yeah, sure. We have left-footed size 14s. Does that work? And they were like, no, then actually I'm an 11 and a half, and I need a right and a left. Oh, sorry, don't have those. See ya. And then the next person walked up. Our starting quarterback's name was Pat, and he said, "Hey, I'm Pat. Can I have some new cleats?" And they went, Pat. Oh, and they ran back and got custom Jordans in his size, and it was like, here you go. And the whole bit was that the starting quarterback was treated better than everybody else, and it was funny, and we all laughed. And then Pat's face turned red. But you do realize in college, everybody's not the same, right? Certain guys are going to get, when they walk into the training room, they're going to get bumped to the front of the line. Why? Because their film watching is more valuable than everybody else's, and you're trying to win games. But you can't have preferential parking. You can't have some guys with families access on the field while nobody else's families have access to the field. There are certain things where, like, a good leader wouldn't want any of that because it makes them feel not connected to the team. Like, there are certain things that you have to have everyone have the same access. And by the way, like, that's part of being a team, is those sort of things need to happen.
As someone who used to coach college sports, I did it for 9 years. The biggest thing you had to make sure, because again, these are young people, they're not professionals. You have to make them understand that this is not a transactional relationship. And that's exactly what Bill Belichick is doing. He's making it a transactional relationship. Hey, travel squad guys, you can dress even on home games. If you're not on the travel squad, you're not even going to dress. You're not good enough to be part of this. You're only good for me at practice. It's a transactional thing, as opposed to, like, we always talk about football. Tim, you did it. I did it too. It's the ultimate team sport.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has to feel like they are part of it in some way, shape, or form. That on game day, I helped either be part of the win or part of the loss in some way, shape, or form. And there clearly is a divide. Obviously, Pat Welter did a fantastic job reporting it. But there's no way, shape, or form, as a former college coach, and I hear that a coach out there says that the head coach is not even accessible to the families of the players. That's just simply flat out wrong. My players always had, or their parents always had, a way to reach me. Now, if it was discussing playing time of those things, I wasn't discussing that with players. But if you had a concern about my player, their in this case, I was coaching women, their daughter, as humans, hey, how are they? Or like, I've talked to them on the phone, didn't seem like they're doing well. What have you seen? You have to be able to reach out to the people that you trust. Like, if I'm a parent of a kid, I have to be able to trust that person with my child's livelihood and their future. And if you aren't doing it because you're looking at it a transactional basis, well, guess what? No wonder you have such discontent with that that program.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if my parents had coaches' phone numbers.
But I mean, it's still at least a way to directly reach them. And players are told not to go talk to the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference there. That's exactly what the difference is. Like, it's the having the rule. Like, what are you trying to? When you have the rule, it's one thing not to talk to parents. It's another thing to have a rule that parents can't talk to you, which is a different beast entirely. I was thinking about this just kind of while we were kicking it around. If you had just a handful of, like, field passes before a game or a handful of premier parking, I know exactly what I would do if I were a coach. Each game, we're picking an offensive player of the game, defensive player of the game, special teams player of the game, and a practice squad, scout team player of the game. And for that week, they get the preferential parking.
Yeah.
And the next week, their parents, if they want them, can be down on the field during pregame. And if you win the player of the week every single week, you can stay there, but it can't be promised to somebody without earning it, because that's what causes rifts in the locker room. And we talked with Pat earlier, and you'll hear it again in Overdrive. It's crazy. Pat was like, some of the most explosive comments, some of the most, like, eye-opening comments were the first things these people said. Mm-hmm. They were, like, waiting for somebody to ask them, which goes to show it's rough at UNC. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. You want to talk about waiting to vent? If you pay a ton of money in closing costs for your mortgage to get a rate that you feel comfortable with, only 6 months later see rates tumble to the number that you just spent all of that money to buy down your rate to, you're going to want a phone line that you can call and vent to. You're going to want a coach. You'll probably call your lender and yell and scream at them. They might have a rule you're not allowed to call back. But that's not how it works at Miller Lending, right? One of the beauties of working with Miller Lending, just one of the many, is the no closing cost loan. And what that sets you up for is, say you lock in a rate today, right? Because you need a house, you need a mortgage, you lock in your rate at whatever rates are today. If they drop in 6 months, rather than getting mad that you mistimed it, rather than yelling at your broker, call them up, refinance, no cost, no fees, nothing out of your pocket. Just get that lower monthly payment. That's all it is. It's that simple. Save yourself the stress. Save yourself the need to vent. Give Miller Lending a call. The number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back earlier today, we caught up with Seth Trimble, senior guard for UNC basketball, joined us here at ACC Tipoff. That conversation coming up again in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Get ready. Carolina Hurricanes hockey is back.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants.
Let's go, Canes.
Verdeen wide open. Rebound. And what a save by Anderson.
Let's go, Canes.
Now Hall all alone. In on Thompson.
The Canes regular season begins October 9th on your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey. 99.9 The Fan.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, joined by one of the most senior members of the North Carolina Tar Heel men's basketball team, senior guard Seth Trimble. Seth, we appreciate the time. Correct me if I'm missing any here. I know everybody's talking about the Ben & Jerry's franchisee.
Right.
There's Drip Drop Hydration. There's ALO Wellness, Aloe Wellness. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yoga. Are we a business guy now? Like, are you passing along as much advice to the young guys on the team about business as you are basketball?
I'm trying to. We're getting there. You know, as I'm learning myself. You know, I'm learning how to share that information also. Love Aloe, love all the NIL deals I've been fortunate with, but the Ben & Jerry's, being able to call myself an owner on that is my biggest accomplishment in the business field. So I'm super excited about that.
Learning that part of yourself, and even when it comes to basketball, right? You're really the only returning contributor to this team. Mm-hmm. How does that change your role from, you know, when RJ's around? Obviously that's a different relationship than you might have with a guy 2 or 3 years younger than you.
Right. I have to just take more of a role model leadership. You know, I'm not trying to, be a role model for these guys, but I'm putting them in the right way. I'm leading them right, and I'm just being a voice for them because they need it. You know, they're at a new school, they're in a new city with new people, and I'm a guy who's been here for going on 4 years now. So, I have to be that guy, but, I also love being that guy.
With you being that guy and being around the program and passing along the North Carolina way and all those things, are you down to play a quick game with us?
Come on, let's do it.
A little, I call it like rapid reactions or rapid scouting reports.
All right, let me sit up.
I want to get to know the new guys, right? We know you. We knew so many of the guys last year.
Right.
I'm going to say a name. Can you give us like a one sentence of what you think of their style or their game or something like that?
Easy.
All right, cool. Jaren Stevenson.
Jaren Stevenson, floor spacer, elite defender.
Henri Veesar.
Henri Veesar, all-around unicorn.
All-around unicorn. I like that one. Jonathan Powell.
Sharpshooter, elite defender.
Luka Bogovac.
Offensive creator.
All right, I'm gonna ask for some follow-ups here, but we're gonna keep it rolling.
All right.
Kyan Evans.
Kyan Evans, floor general, without a doubt.
Caleb Wilson.
A dog. That boy's nice. That boy's nice. I'm excited about Caleb.
All right, and last one might be a little bit tougher. Seth Trimble's offseason improvements.
Impeccable, drastic, huge. Any positive word you can think of. Been a huge summer for me. I've been working on exactly what I need to and more, so I'm super excited for it.
All right. Diving into those a bit further. Caleb Wilson. I'm sitting here. We're talking with Seth Trimble, North Carolina guard. Your eyes lit up. Like there was. I'm sure those watching on YouTube could see like the body language change. What is it about him, and how has it kind of gotten you that excited so quickly?
Caleb just really excites me. Like Caleb reminds me of me if I was 6'9". I mean, he has a motor. He's an incredible defender. He can get to the basket at will. He's really, really good in the mid-range, and then he's not afraid to step out and space the floor and be a shooter for us. So, I mean, he really has kind of all the tools. He's incredible. He's incredible. I'm really excited to play with him. He's still learning, obviously. You know, he has his days, but that's what I'm here for. That's what our coaches are here for, just to continue to motivate him and push him and teach him each and every day. But, I mean, he's going to be really good.
For Veesar, you say unicorn. I think that might be like, it's one of those phrases that's getting over, like everyone that's 7 feet is described as a unicorn, right?
That's
like,
real, yeah.
What is it that makes him maybe one of the real unicorns that we should actually use that as a description for?
Yeah, I mean, he can truly space the floor. When he pops and he's on my team, I know the ball is going in. He can put the ball on the floor from the top of the key. He can play in the mid-range and, you know, get to the basket from there. And then he has really good touch. And he's one of those 7-foot guys that, you know, actually have athleticism. You can throw the ball up and he's going to go get it. And he's one of those bigs with a lot in their bag.
Seth Trimble, North Carolina Tar Heels senior guard here at ACC Tipoff, joining us at our table. When you talk about Jaren Stevenson, you say floor spacer. When we talk about Henri Veesar and you go right to unicorn, he can spread and shoot, and he's popping. Does part of you want to tell the big guys to go down low, like and rim protect and know where they are and get down low? Because especially with the way last season went, where at times it felt like you were lacking size.
I mean, absolutely, but they have been all summer. They have been all summer. You know, Jaren, I say floor spacer because he's been an elite shooter all summer for us, and he's been an elite defender. But Jaren, all summer long, has been able to put the ball down and get to the paint. He's played in the post a ton this summer. And shown us that, especially in the last couple of weeks. He's gotten a lot of post spins, post fades, you know, getting to the basket and just being really crafty there. So there's so much more to these guys' games than, you know, what I'm telling you now, but just some of the first games that come to mind.
It's kind of messed up of me to make you do it in one sentence and then be like, you didn't mention everything they do. So that one might be on me.
You all good.
It's rare to be at North Carolina, a school with so much history, like while it's going through changes. GM Jim Tanner's been with the program now for whatever it is, 7 months and change. Have you noticed anything different about the way the program's run or anything going on with North Carolina now that there's a general manager in place?
Absolutely. Mr. Tanner has done an incredible job of making Coach Davis's job easier. So, you know, with roster construction, dealing with NIL this, NIL that, it's taken so much off Coach Davis's desk where he can really just be the best basketball coach and the best mentor for us and, you know, the best listener that he could possibly be. So, I mean, Mr. Tanner's doing an incredible job. I'm sure he knows it. I need to tell him if he doesn't hear it enough, but yeah, he's been really good for us.
I have two kind of fun ones here for you. One, I know everybody's going to ask you this, but we want it on the record. Ice cream flavor, right? Like what's the go-to if I'm showing up to you brought it up. You're the owner. If I show up to your Ben & Jerry's, what should I order?
Listen, you're the first person to ask me this now. I've been thinking about it. An
exclusive here on the drive.
There's been a couple options. I might go with the salted caramel delight and the mint chocolate chip mix. Put those two together, and it creates kind of a savory taste that I really like. So that's been my favorite duo so far.
Do you have access, like after hours, you going in there and making yourself a sundae?
I do have a key, but I haven't done that.
All right.
I haven't done that.
Last one for you here, and I know you have a lot of these interviews to get to. Who's a bigger you have to help me on the pronunciation. Is it Menominee? Menominee. All right. Who is a bigger deal at Menominee Falls High School? Seth Trimble or Andy Hurley, who is the drummer of Fall Out Boy and apparently also went to your high school?
I'll give Mr. Hurley his love. I'll give him a lot of credit. I'm just out of humbleness. I'm gonna go ahead and say him. Because Fall Out Boy, that's a band right there. Right?
When you look up notable alumni, it's like you and Andy Hurley from Fall Out Boy.
I had no idea Mr. Hurley went to the Falls, but I'm gonna go ahead and say his name.
There you go, Seth. We appreciate you for taking the time, and good luck this season, and enjoy Media Day.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Once again, that is Seth Trimble, senior guard for UNC from earlier today. Did you hear that description of Fall Out Boy? He said, "Fall Out Boy, that's a band right there." Just that exists as a band.
Heard of them?
They play music. It is Menominee Falls High School. Seth Trimble, the drummer from Fall Out Boy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, I know this is the time of year, the way the weather's turning all super nice, that a lot of people want to get out and enjoy the fall weather. I know I enjoy it. One of the things I like to go do is go ride my motorcycle. And something you're going to see out there on the roads, I'm just cautioning people out there as drivers, you're going to see a lot more motorcycles out there on the road. So be cautious. But also as a motorcycle rider, do everything you can to make yourself visible. Do everything you can to make yourself visible out there on the road. The way you ride in the lane position, make sure you're not riding in the blind spots of cars, but also make sure you're super cautious as a rider. Always have an escape. Again, always have an escape in case there's someone that's distracted driving down the road. They're enjoying the fall colors and the fall foliage, and all of a sudden they start drifting over the lane. Make sure you have an escape in case you need to get out quickly. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Here's the thing about Law Tigers. They're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike, they know what your gear are both worth, but most importantly, they understand the dangers of the road and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't owe a dime until your case settles. So call them even before you contact your insurance company, and talk to them even before you give a recorded statement to the insurance folks. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
We'll continue from here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte when we return with a feedback frenzy. Don't go anywhere.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go! It's bow time.
This party's getting crazy!
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs!
Okay! Now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Smooth coming out of break. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox here as well. Shout out to Max Gorin keeping us up and running back at the studio. These remote broadcasts always with some moving parts, and Dennis Max doing a good job keeping us up. Also, this is the time where I can tell you a few things. One, subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Why? Because so much of our content goes straight there. We're building a community. The comment sections are electric, where you can make your point, defend your point, maybe even learn something. But also, all of our interviews from ACC Tipoff, and when we're here for ACC kickoffs, and anytime we come to these media events, media day events, all of those interviews live on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. They're there. So if you can't listen to the entirety of today's show, but you want to hear from Henri Veesar, the new big man for UNC, or if you can't listen to the entirety of tomorrow's show, but you want to catch one of the Duke interviews or state interviews, whatever it is, they all live in our YouTube. By Pat Welter on WRAL.com today.
Long before that, this one comes from Eastside Morales. Eastside says they'll be lucky to win another game this season.
I agree.
Yeah.
And usually we use feedback frenzies for a chance to rebut. Very rarely do I just go, yeah.
Maybe Stanford,
No, I mean, there are games that are an opportunity to win, but I might not pick against them in every game. I'm not, if I'm gambling, I'm not comfortable putting money on them in any game.
No.
Even a game like Stanford, I'm just going to stay away from. Right? I'm not going to make a pick there because I'm not going to be the one that bets on the team that we've seen look as bad as they've looked so far this year.
All right, this one actually along the same video. This one comes from Wolfpack MBA. As a state fan, it would be easy to pile on. Not going to do that, but what's surprising is what seems to be a lack of hustle and effort.
Well, first of all, that is piling on.
It is.
That's a no offense, but then you're really offensive.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Also, by the way, I do think one of the most aggressive haymakers you can land in a rivalry is actual pity. If you actually pity your rival, then that's to me the most insulting thing you can do to a rival. But either way, effort, I almost don't even know if it's an effort thing. I think they're trying. But I also, a lot of times confusion looks like poor effort. If you don't know where to run, you don't run there fast. That kind of deal. If think of when you're walking around a corner and you hear something, right? You kind of hit that, you don't come around the corner quite as fast as you normally do because you don't know what's over there. You're uncertain. That's to me how I feel UNC playing. Every step they're taking, they're going was that the right step? How about that one? Was that the right step? And that's not the way to look like you're hustling.
Yeah, it's all around bad. It's all around bad, including this is why my man Mello. That's right, my man Mello said, why is the nation surprised the roster isn't good? Did you not watch the Patriots?
But and you know what? If they get the Patriots roster, they'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, you get Drake May back.
I mean, they were 9th in portal rankings.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying not only was it you assumed that it would be easier for them to acquire talent in college than in the NFL, where you have to draft them and everybody else has rights to draft picks. It's a big difference between college and the pros, by the way.
Oh yeah, massive.
In college, a good recruiter can get the top 10 picks. They could go get them all. In college or in the NFL, that's not happening. But also, there were people out there that do that for a living that were telling us their roster isn't as bad as it obviously is. There are people that judge. It's impossible for, media members in our seats to know how good every transfer is and every recruit is. So you lean on things like 247 Sports and Rivals and they told us some of the ones coming in were pretty good.
All right, let's actually go to the conversation we had yesterday about the Carolina Panthers actually getting a win. Let's actually shift focus over here. Since we are in Charlotte, by the way, for ACC Tipoff, Bank of America Stadium, right down the road. But again, Carolina Panthers won this past Sunday. No one's going to complain about an actual victory, but that doesn't mean necessarily that people aren't concerned. For example, this one comes from Christian Chambers. 100% that the Carolina Panthers need to start playing the young guys. Give them an opportunity. I feel like they keep playing it safe. Just put the young guys out there. They playing it safe being the Panthers.
Here's just another anecdote along those lines. The linebackers played better on Sunday than they had been playing.
Yeah.
They flipped roles.
They did. Trevor Wallace. Yeah.
They had Roseboom was the green dot, the guy with the communicator, the radio in his headset, and he was the one calling the plays. They flipped that, and now Trevor Wallace was the one calling the plays. The reports are that the response has been Roseboom got to play more free.
Yeah.
And Wallace actually kind of grew to the level of being that leader and being that communicator. To me, that is just like the reason they were in that position is because you default go, no, the veteran's the green dot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When in actuality, it sounds like it's pretty obvious once you gave Trevor Wallace the opportunity. That's the way it should have been. They had their best game of the year by far. I want to turn film into silhouettes and give numbers without names to the Panthers coaching staff and go pick the players. Don't pick the years of experience, right? Like go pick. I want to show Jimmy Horn reps and I want to show Hunter Renfrow reps, and somehow I want to make it so they can't identify the two, and then say which of these players do you want to play, and do the same thing at every position, because I do think they are just by default going to the older player in almost every situation, and thus far it appears as if the younger player might be the better option in almost every situation as well.
Just about. Again, about the concerns though. At West Coast Carolina on that same video said, win or lose, running the ball should be the formula for the offense, at least until we get the QB situation figured out.
I agree, except game flow is a thing. Game script is a thing. Unless you're running the ball like they were on Sunday, where you're picking up chunk yardage consistently, you can't stay committed to the run down 2 scores. In the NFL, you expect the other team to be able to score a little bit. If you want to come back, you have to pick up chunk yardage. It worked out this time for a few reasons. One, Miami's offense stunk and Panthers defense was playing well. And Rico Dowdle wasn't picking up small yardage. He was picking up big yardage.
Yeah.
There is a point in an NFL game where regardless of how confident you are in your quarterback, you got to let him sling it to try to get you back into the game. And if you don't believe me, go watch Cooper Rush, go watch Jake Browning, go watch a few teams this past week, where their teams got behind and they had to have backup quarterbacks they didn't trust, absolutely slinging it up and down the yard.
All right, this one comes from D. Patel.
This will be our last one. Make it good.
All right. Bryce plays a role because if it wasn't for the 4th down, in terms of the comeback, Bryce plays a role because if it wasn't for the 4th down when we were down 17-0, talking about the completion of Terrell McMillan, it would have been over. If we didn't hit that, and that's how most teams are successful, and run the ball, let your quarterback make clutch throws, not let's just throw the ball with the QB every single once in a while. Let's see how the rookies make plays, not Bryce make a good few throws. Sorry, lack of punctuation there. They made a couple good points, but, punctuation still a thing out there, folks. Use those keystrokes.
If you're only going to ask Bryce to make a few good throws, he has to be willing to get paid like a few good throws. That, quarterbacks ask for a lot of money. If you're going to eat up a big percentage of the cap, you can't be asked for 5 throws a game.
Yeah, you don't draft number 1 overall for a few good throws.
Exactly. It's an investment cost or opportunity cost thing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, no matter what. If it's in your house, Maynard Service Company can help you out. Yes, in the emergency situations, right? There's water coming from my ceiling and I don't know why. It is 30 degrees outside and my heater broke. Yes, in those situations, call Maynard Service Company, 24/7 service all across the triangle. But try to get ahead of those situations as well. Maintenance is a big thing when it comes to HVAC and certain other elements of your house. Call up Maynard Service Company, have them come out, check it out, make sure it's clean, make sure it's running properly, as efficiently as it can. and set up that relationship. That way, if it does break, they already are, they're best friends with your system already. They know the ins and outs. Give them a call, 919-361-0993 or MainorServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. That's going to do it for us here at ACC Tipoff. We'll be back tomorrow. As we said, we'll hear from Duke. We'll hear from State. We'll hear from Wake. We'll hear from Louisville. We'll hear from some of the biggest newsmakers in the ACC tomorrow from here in Charlotte. So hopefully you'll join us then. Overdrive's coming up next. Hubert Davis and Pat Welter, WRAL sports reporter. Those conversations will air, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping when you text IQ Bar to 64,000. Text IQ Bar to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's IQ Bar to 64,000.
Nothing beats a fairway green lawn. Now's the time to seed your fescue lawn. A lot of people think it's springtime, but that's incorrect. You got to get out there and do a core aeration seeding, put down the proper fertilizer at that time. And if you have a warm season lawn, now's an excellent time to start controlling winter annual weeds like poana. And of course, broadleaf weeds never stop, no matter what turf you have. So it's always a good time to apply the proper broadleaf weed control and your fertilizers. 919-329-0095. Visit fairwaygreen.com and go ahead and request a free lawn analysis. We'll be out within a few days and leave a very detailed lawn analysis in the door. Nothing beats a fairway green lawn.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, chili lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader. It's 6 o'clock. Time to shift into overdrive. All highlights, no filler. As we run it back from the drive with Tim Donnelly.
Back here on the drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Sitting down here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte, Hubert Davis, head coach, North Carolina Tar Heels. Coach, Did you think you'd be coming to one of these things with one of your players owning an ice cream shop on Franklin Street? Because we just talked to Seth Trimble, and he's the entrepreneur, man. He's the owner.
No, he is. He's an entrepreneur. He's an owner, and I've been I have problems when I have dairy, and so I've been begging him to get some dairy-free options in his Ben & Jerry's store. And so this week I'm going to stop by and see if there's any options.
As we look towards the basketball part of it, though, he's the veteran, right? He's the returning kind of contributor and the life experience. You mix in, the stuff we were just joking about. How much do you lean on him when you're bringing in so many transfers and freshmen that are expected to contribute in a big way?
Yeah, definitely leaning on him. He's obviously a senior